Hey folks, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you guys are. I hope you're doing really, really well today. Just turn the music down just a touch. There we go. So Vogon got first today. He spammed me at 3 PM, 4 PM, 5 PM, 6 PM, 7 PM, 7:30 PM. So he got first. He spammed me about 6 times trying to get the first this week, but he did get it. So congratulations to Vogon for getting first. Thank you very much to AKB James for the 13 months of Twitch Prime subs. Zapri's here as well. We've got Van Storm in chat. Crash is here to crash.
Very nice.
There you go. Ooey, just subscribe. Thank you very much, dude. Really appreciate that sub. We've got Crash here as well. Crash, I've not seen you in a long time, man. Glad to see you on stream. We've got Reese here as well, saying Iron Time. Absolutely.
Very nice.
There's Crash's subscription as well. Thank you very much, dude. 13 months for AKB James, 4 months for Crash. Is this gift sub something? No. Crash says, hey Jay, good afternoon. Oyo extended their tier 1 gift sub. There we go. That's it. Who else have we got in chat? We've got Depleted Vespine. We've got Max Surfy, the legend that he is. Cat Refined, looking good sir. ThinkQuery is here as well. One Creative Mind as well. All the creative people are here. Don't know why they're all here for a stream from me, but hey, I feel honoured. That's where the Discord channels come in. Yeah, for some reason,
very nice.
Storesness, thank you very much. That was very nice of you. Thank you very much for the subscription there. For some reason, streamer mode didn't come on in Discord. Now, normally when you launch up Streamlabs or any other streaming software, Discord jumps into what's called streamer mode and it disables all sounds. It didn't do that, and I don't know why, but I've now manually enabled it, so we should be good going forwards. Guatema's here as well, says hello there. So many lovely folks in chat. Always lovely people in chat. Huey's here as well. Says, is this the new office? No, this is still my home office. Maybe next week the stream will be from the workshop office. Maybe. I'm not quite sure yet. It depends on how much I get moved over this week and how much, because I've moved into the office space now and everything's pretty much running from there. The only thing I haven't done is move all my streaming setup there, so I need to think about lighting and cameras, and that's kind of like a lot of work. So maybe next week, if not then it will definitely be the week after, and then Top Clack will start to be streamed from there as well. So, and then there'll be more content too to hopefully to share with you guys. Creon King says wow. ThinkQuest says be right back, building a bot to automate that. Nice. Full's here as well. Good to see you, good dude. Jay building an i165 yes, and it's my personal one this time. Last time I built an i165, it was one of the Smith and Room boys' personal boards. It was Baron's personal board. This time it's going to be mine, my own one, the one that if you watched on my Instagram I unboxed rather haphazardly the other day. So yeah, looking forward to that. Tronics is here as well. How was you not following? Says review for the tube. Well, you're following now, man, so thank you very much for that. Thomas says I'm ready. Good. I'm glad you're ready. I'm glad you're ready. Zapri says that's a nice desk mat. This is the 8008 desk mat, I think, from Dixie. Please leave Handabite in your home office so that eyesore is finally gone from the background. It's just up there somewhere. You should be able to see it. Just on the wall somewhere up there. Mirrored TKL is amazing. So the reason why this screen is mirrored is because if you look at that screen, when I take this hand and bring it down, it looks like it's the right way around. And if I do the same with this hand, you can see that it looks like it's the same hand. If I do it the other way around and I have this camera the other way around, it looks something a little bit like this, which is just really confusing for a lot of people, especially when they see me get the soldering iron, and then all of a sudden as I go down, it's kind of like me soldering over here. So I flip this camera around just to make it a little bit more sense from that perspective. I Love Shaletta says, how's it going? Glad to catch you early this time around. Thank you, man. Thank you for being here. The boob mat. Yes, 8008. You had to point it out. Ooh, one of those streaming things. LB Base, thank you very much for the 16 months of subs. He says, what's up? And that does start the hype train. That makes you the hype train conductor, I believe. So there we go. Thank you very much. It is the hype train time. It is the hype train time. The accent is glowing over there. That's because the curtains are drawn and the sun's just coming through that window. Just a little bit. You need an LKT there. Yeah, if we get a flipped TKL, it will look the right way around.
Tasty.
Zapri, thank you very much for the 100 bits. That keeps the hype train going. We're almost to level 2, almost there. Vogon as well, with some more tasty, tasty choo-choo bits. Thank you very much.
Tasty, tasty.
God, I love that. God, I love that. Tasty, tasty. Yeah, OEO as well. Thank you very much for the 100 bits too. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Almost there. Almost completed level 2. Nice.
Tasty, tasty.
I do love hearing that. I do love hearing it. You guys do make my day. Thank you very much for the donations, the bits, the subs, everything, guys. Thank you very, very much. We're going to do a few things on stream today. I've actually got 3 things that I want to show you. One of them is the IM165. The first I want to show you is the Doddle Pcb. So the Doddle Pcb finally came in from Gondolindrum this week. I have shipped all of the group buy ones out. They came in on, I think it was Monday, they went out on the Tuesday, something like that. As soon as I got them in, sorted them out, shipped them as quickly as possible. But I do have my personal one here, as well as a custom plate, so I'm really, really excited to show that. If I flip this, so going back to the camera, if I flip this camera up here and you see this, if you look in the little box down here, if you see this one, then it flips this board round, and if I flip this, then that looks the wrong way. So it's more important for the build stream to be the right way round than it is for my face to be the right way round. Does that make sense? I feel like it makes sense to me, but whether it makes sense to you guys, I'm not sure. But it makes more sense for you guys to be looking down on the build stream when we flip the cameras around for the build, for you to be able to see what's going on the right way round, and for you to just put up with my face being mirrored, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense when we do it that way. So that was the first thing, was the Doddle PCB and plate. The second thing I want to unbox on stream is the new NK65. So Mike from Novel Keys was really, really kind and sent me a V2 NK65. This is the aluminium edition. It's silver in colour. I have opened it already, but I do want to show you guys it really briefly. Then once we've done that, we're going to jump into the IN165 build. I'm going to be building that with a carbon fibre plate, Durox stabilisers, and some H1 switches. The H1 switches are pretty much stock. The only thing I've done is lube the springs, just a tiny bit of really light lubing with Krytox 104. But yeah, I'm really excited to build that board. Really, really excited to build it and see how it goes. So yeah. Cool. Okay, I think that's everything. We've pretty much got everyone viewing that I would expect to be viewing right now. Lots of new faces, lots of existing faces, so it's pretty good. Deported Village Idiot says, did y'all get milkshake? I love the feel of these. I didn't, but I do like cat. I didn't get milkshake, sadly, but I will try and get that. You're not filming the H1s? No, I don't think they need filming. After putting them back together, they feel pretty sturdy. I'm not going to film them. If I do change my mind, I can always desolder the board and rebuild it. Did I get a copper plate?
Very nice.
Oh, there we go. Thank you very much, Kiria Maya. I'm going to go with. Sorry if that's wrong. Thank you very, very much for the Twitch Prime sub. I really, really appreciate that. I think that might have just taken us to level 3 or something like that, or to the start of level 3. Complete level 2 anyway. Thank you very, very much for that. Did I get a copper plate for the iron as well? I did. I will show you guys that. I do have a spare PCB, so there will be a second iron build at some point in the future, but that's not going to be today. Julian says, yes, I've been really waiting for this. Me too, man. I've been really excited to build this all week, and there is going to be a bit of interaction later on, because you guys are going to get to choose the key set that we use on the board. I do have 4 to hand, all of which I think will look pretty good on the board. You guys can pick. We'll do a bit of vote later on, but we've got Classic Retro, we've got Nines, we've got Honeywell, and we've got Olive. So later on we'll put up like a little voting system, and you guys can vote and tell me which key set you want to see on the IN165 when it's built. Copper plate with split backspace. I don't know if it does have split backspace. I can't recall. We'll have to see. Honeywell, and Honeywell. Yeah, it would be my choice, but I'm going to leave it open to the stream and see what chat decides. So we'll have a look at that later on. First things first, though. Let's flip over to the camera and let's take a look at the Doddle PCB, because that's a really good, cool project. It's just come in from Gondolindrum, and I'm really, really tempted to stock these on the store. So let's flick over and. Ta-da, there we go. So this is where you can see that me moving my hand kind of makes sense now. But here we have the Doddle PCB. So you can see it's got the H1 logo there from Gondolindrum. Nice little sticker. My bag is a little bit broken. Now we have got two things in here. We've got the plate, which I'll show you first of all. This is a nice carbon fibre plate. It has got the flex grooves cut into it, so you can see that it's nice and flexible. Really easy to flex that if you're interested in that kind of thing. Fixed ISO, fixed to the PCB. And then here is the Doddle Pcb. So you can see here we've got the little Doddle 60 logo, a couple of different layout choices for the bottom row. These huge gaps here for flexibility. I'll try and show you that as well, so you can see that the that mounts and moves quite easily. So this is going to go in my Noxry T60, which I'm going to build it in a couple of weeks. So yeah, really excited to show you guys this. And look at how neat and tidy Gondolindrum soldering is. Like, guys, like I can't even tell you, that is super tidy hand soldering. It's crazy good. So yeah, really excited to build that in a couple of weeks, put it into my Noxry T60. It is a 4-post tray mount case, so it should fit nicely and it should work really, really well in there. But as I say, I'm really excited to try it out, and I'm also going to stock, I do stock the plates already, but I'm going to stock these PCBs as well. Next up, we have the new NK65. So as I say, Mike was kind enough to send me this through the post last week, as well as some switches. He did send me a ton of switches as well. This is the new aluminium edition. I didn't get to try the budget edition, which is kind of like a plastic injected. It's injection molded, sorry. I really want to try one of those as well. Compare the two maybe. Stash Build, thank you very much for raiding with a party of 13. Welcome to the stream, guys. We are just getting started, and I can't get this off. Why is this not coming off? There we go. Injected polycarbonate, yes, yes. That's a real pretty PCB. It's nice, right? The Atron PCB is really good. It actually came with a note. Now I didn't share the note on here because that's special and personal to all of the people that join the group by. But there's a little personalised note in there as well from Gondolindrum as well. But I'm not gonna share that because that's quite personal to the people again. So there we go. So this is how you'll get these as well. These will come in a slightly larger box. You'll get it with the little band roll and this here. And then here we go. I think all of the tweaks were to the PCB, if I'm honest, Gio. And I think there is some slight changes to the main case. Now I don't have my original NK65. I did give that away on stream a couple of months ago. So I don't have my original one to compare this to, but it does come in exactly the same branded carry case. This is pretty nice, nice and firm. NK logo on top. That's not going off. It's not going anywhere. Nice zipper around the side. Level 2 hype trainer mode, guys. Thank you very much. And then inside we get a few things. So one of the first things I want to show you guys that is new is these USB-C coiled cables. This is what you get with these. How cool is this? Come on, camera focus. There you go. How cool is that? Retro styling, USB-C. Pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool. Yeah, right, reminds you of the old Model M cables. Exactly, exactly. Really nice and robust. They're covered in a really thick coated plastic. Genuinely really nice. Really, really nice as well. We also get some VIA compatibility confirmed in the box. So there you go. It is now VIA compatible. And there you go. Just a little reminder to make sure that switch pins are straight before inserting into the NK65. Okay. Some other nice tweaks as well is when you start to look at the board. Oh, if I can keep these open. Take that out. So there you go. You can see that these straps just hold the board down nice and neatly, so nothing's going to fall apart. Nothing's going to move around. Okay. Comes with a nice little bit of plastic. Again, we don't need that to show you. This is the silver version of the case. You can see it's got the LED indicator lights. It comes with the stabilizers pre-installed, which for plate mount isn't necessarily a bad idea. These look pretty good installed. They can be quite difficult to install. It took me a while to figure out how to use them the first time I did them. Everything lines up. The PCB and the plate are all in there. It is actually ready for you to just start to push switches in, and you can use it immediately if you don't want to tune or tweak it. So for the average user, you could literally just take the switches out of the bag, put them straight into this and plug it in, and off and away you go, which is pretty nice. I think it's pretty nice that it's ready there. The stabs aren't lubed. You would need to do that to lube the stabilizers if you wanted to, but they are pre-installed. So for those that are new to the kind of building of keyboards, this is pretty good. It's out of the box. It's ready to go. Everything is already in place. You can see the Novel Keys logo there. Previously you had to put the PCB and plate in together yourself. Now it's all there. You can see it's all looking pretty good, to be honest. Now, if I remember rightly, last time the USB port, the switches here had to be the alternate ways around, so you had the RGBs at the top. I think that was the case on this PCB. If I'm right, this has now been fixed and they're now showing the right way around. The USB-C port is recessed and it does have a nice little cover on it as well, so instead of being a big gaping hole, it's now got a nice little cover, which is part of the bottom case when it hooks together. Turn it over, you've got the nice Novel Keys logo front and center, and then two long bump-on strips. Looking really, really good. So there you go. So this is great for people just joining the hobby. It's silly easy to build. It's really easy to put together. It's really customizable for people joining the hobby as well. Fixed layout is great for most people. I think this is great. Thank you, Mike, for sending me this. I'm going to build this in a couple of weeks' time on stream, put it together. I probably will give it away at some point, given the fact that it's a sponsor donated item. I probably will give it away on stream at some point in the future. There isn't an EU proxy for these. No, Mike wants to keep these, as far as I'm aware, for Novel Keys. I have asked him about it. I haven't got a response, but yeah. I think this is $150 or something like that. The plastic one, the injection molded one, is under $100, guys. So for what you get, it's such a good bargain. You know, for people new to the hobby, it's really good, and the quality is much better as well. Like before, there was marks and stuff on the one I had. It might have been B stock. This one is pretty much pristine straight out of the box. Looks great, seamless design, really, really nice and simple. 185 for the LU, maybe it is. Yeah, that sounds about right actually. But under 100 for the purple. Yeah, under 100 for the purple polycarbonate. So there we go, guys. That is the NK65. It's pretty good, pretty good. For the money, I think that is an absolute bargain. And of course these cables as well. These cables as well. This is so cool. I really want to know where he gets these from, because I'm almost tempted to use these instead of some of the custom cables I use. So there we go. It's going on sale soon.
Very nice.
Shichin, thank you very much for the 5 months of subs, 5 month streak. Thank you very much. Really genuinely appreciate that. They go on sale soon, later on this month. I don't have an exact date yet, but if you join Novel Keys website, there is an option to sign up to a newsletter. If you click on the newsletter link and put in your email address, you will get notified when it goes live. I think they've already got a ton of these in stock. It's not going to sell out quickly, but they are going to sell very fast, and there's going to be a lot of sales. So if you want one, definitely jump on it early on. But as a gift to get someone into the hobby, for someone new to the hobby, for someone who wants a beta board, or someone who wants a travel board, or someone who wants just something for the office or whatever, these could be really good. And I want a source on these cables because they're great. Cool. Okay, so that is the NK65 and the Doddle Pcb that I wanted to talk you through. I think even my wife would be cool with me getting the PC one. Yeah, right. How long is the USB cable? I mean, it's reasonably long, so you know, it's reasonably long. I mean, these mats are 90 centimeters, so if you straighten it out, it's probably just shy of a meter before you start using the coil, and the coil's got a lot of stretch. Now, because it is covered in this plastic, it's not one it's like the old telephone wires. It's going to be just fine to come up. So there you go. Yeah, it's not quite 3 feet after the coil. It's about 2.5 feet, I'd say. About 65 centimeters, 67 centimeters, something like that. So there we go. Bear in mind that this is 90 centimeters across, and it comes to about here. So there you go. Cool. Okay. I feel like all I've done is just talk at you guys rather than show you anything, but I'm really, really excited by those cables. It's a simple thing sometimes. Yeah, the coil on that can be used, Hugh. That's the great thing. The coil on this cable, whilst it's functional to an extent, like if I leave it like that, it will just stay like that over time. So if I kind of had it like that on the desk for like 6 months, it would stay like that and it wouldn't compress anymore. The other one would just keep on compressing, you know, and it would suck itself back. Functional. Thank you very much for the 14 months of subs. He said FE build time. We're about to get onto the FE right now. Yes. Nice to see a coil without a Lemo. Yeah, absolutely. I kind of do like Lemos. I do have a coiled Lemo cable, but my challenge with it is the end is USB Mini, not USB-C, and I've never got around to changing it. So I tend to use this cheapo one, which is a CY something or other connector, which does the job. And I do have 2 ends for that one. I actually have a USB-C end and a USB Mini end as well. So that one's easier to swap out for most builds. Okay, but without much further ado, gosh, this is heavy. That's really heavy. We will be building with H1 switches. These are from Novel Keys. These are the original batch of H1s. We will be building with these. These have all been lubed. I did the whole bag because I didn't know how many I needed, and I thought I just might as well do it. There's enough for 2 builds in here. These have just been lubed with 104 on the springs, and nothing else has been touched. Springs out, dab of lube, strings back in. That's it. That's all that's changed. Crytox 104. So yeah, that's the switches we'll be using. Durox stabilizers. These are what we'll be putting together. These are the smoky grey black ones. Look pretty nice, so we'll be using those as well. And then guys, in here is the board itself. First thing I want to say, I'm going to zip this back up just so I can show you. Again, hard case, exactly the same as the TMO51 we saw last week, because it comes from Canon Keys. But the little tag has the Smith & Rune logo on. How cool is that? How cool is that? Just the little detail. It's little things sometimes. Little things. Okay. Are you ready, guys, to see the FE? You ready? I hope you're ready. Well, sorry, you're not going to see it just yet. Okay, so a few things in here that I just want to go through that you get in the bag, the case. PCB, nice big Smith & Rune logo on there. Canon Keys logo as well. All nice and sealed, looking really good. There is actually 2 of those because I did order an extra PCB with my order, so I have 2 PCBs. I got some case foam. I didn't ask for this, but it came with it. Interesting. I'm probably going to use it on the copper plate build, not the carbon fiber plate build, so we'll see. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Supports ISO, which is good. Yeah, interesting. As well as that, we also have daughterboard number 1, daughterboard number 2, gaskets. These are pretty cool. And then I have got 2 JST connectors, screws, bump-ons, 2 little packs of those. I think they just chucked in 1 for each PCB. But there we go. So those are the bits and pieces we've got to put the build together. In terms of plates, for some reason, I ordered myself one when I bought the iron. I ordered myself a carbon fiber plate, and then when I put my last order in for carbon fiber plates, I ordered another one. So I have 2. I'm only going to use 1, so I don't need 1. But we are going to use this one today, assuming everything lines up and it works on the PCB. We are going to use this one today. Now, time to show you guys the board. First thing to note, it did come wrapped neatly in this black paper. I've kind of wrapped it back up to the best of my ability. It wasn't very neat. I kind of had to rush it to get it from the workshop to here, so yeah. This is just super heavy. I'm trying to get my fingers underneath it to lift it, because I can't lift it out any other way. Okay, I might have to take this out now. This is what I had to do the other day when I was on the stream. Ugh. It will be worth it. There we go. It will be worth it, guys, once I get it out. Ugh. Like, guys, this. Wait till you see how this this much weighs. how much this weighs, how much this weighs. But it's really tight in the case as well, so you can't get your fingers underneath it. The case is like compressed around it. But before I show you, let's weigh this. Let's weigh this just so you guys can see how heavy this is, because it's not a light board. So, in pounds and ounces, this weighs just shy of 8 pounds. And in kilograms, that's 3.43 kilograms. It's heavy. It is really heavy. Like, it's genuinely really heavy. Peter Poppiness, he says, "What's up, Jay? Welcome to the stream, man. Thank you very much for being here." Baron can lift them with one pinky. Baron is a meaty man, though. He, of course he can. There we go. This is really heavy. It's chunky as hell, and this is why I couldn't get my fingers underneath it to lift it out of the case. That and the fact that the foam really compresses around the board as well. But anyway, time to show you guys just how beautiful this is. Baron is a snack of a man. I'm excited for you. Thank you, man. I'm really excited for this as well. I'm excited to show you guys. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready to see the sexiness that is the Iron 165 FE? There we go, guys. How good does that look? So this is the Iron 165 FE. The plate is brass, the plate is copper, the badge is copper, the base that you can see at the back is copper, the top is stainless steel which has been electrophoresis coated in E-white. Flipping this over, there's that lovely copper bottom. This is number 13, my lucky number, my number for joining the FE run. Number 13. Only one with that number on it. But there we go, guys. Wouldn't kick it off my desk. Dude, you couldn't kick this off your desk. Like, genuinely, if you kick this, you would break your foot. It is stupidly heavy. Like, it's as heavy as a JO1, which is a heavy board. It's as heavy as... well, it's probably a little bit heavier. So there we go. Alex Sotos, thank you very much for the raid, good sir. Glad to see you again, dude. I was watching your stream earlier on before I started, so thank you very much. Welcome, folks. We are building the Iron 165 FE. My camera has decided not to focus. There we go. I've literally just unboxed this, so you guys have joined right at the right time. This is the board we're going to be building today. 3.4 kilograms, just shy of 8 pounds. This beast is a monster. Stainless steel, electrophoresis coated top. Copper base, solid copper base, and number 13, which is my lucky number there. I had to do a lot of things to get number 13 in this group buy. A lot of things. So thank you very much, Alex Sotos. Thank you and welcome to the stream, guys. Feel free to stay around and chat. We are going to see some good stuff, and hopefully this board is going to sound as good as it looks when we get the build completed. So first things first, guys, time to take apart the board. I am going to just make sure and see if my screwdrivers will fit in here, or if I need to use the the extended Allen wrenches. We might be okay. Fits in there. Does it fit in this one? Look at that. It does. It does just fit. Curious to see if your custom plate lines up. Yeah, well, we'll test that out shortly. Now, I am going to use the... I'm going to switch to the... these. I think it's this one. The reason I'm switching to these is just because I wasn't particularly comfortable with having to hold the things up close. In fact, it's not that one. It's a smaller one. What was that first come, first serve for the FE? I believe it was. I believe a lot of them were offered to friends and family first, and I think that's how I was lucky enough to get one. No hydration for points. Oof. Please let it line up. It will line up. Wait, is that still the wrong size? It is. It's still the wrong size, guys. Still the wrong size. I didn't think it would be as small as this, but there we go. Things can be deceiving. There we go. You need to get a Nange set with the longer bits. Yeah, I have got a load of new WeHa tools ready for the workshop, so I'll be using those going forwards. But there we go. Need to get in on the Plum extras. Yes, I actually offered free build services to anyone who got the Plum because I wanted to see how the Plum looked in real life. So I think I'm going to end up building 6 of them. This is a personal build. Yes, I very, very rarely do customer builds on stream. I do a build stream every single Sunday without fail. Sometimes some additional ones as well during the week, but they are always, or nearly always, my builds. I think 95% of the streams I do are my builds. It's very rare I do customer builds, just because I don't have the time, and my collection grows every week, it seems. Usually I'm the one that's too small. Yeah, it's easy to pick up the small one sometimes. How many keyboards are I on at the minute? I don't have an accurate number, guys. Like, genuinely, I don't have an accurate number. I know before I started Top Clack 18 months ago that I had about 110. I know I've sold 10 since then, but I've done a build stream pretty much every Sunday without fail since then as well. So, I think I'm close to 200, if not slightly more. Maybe slightly more than 200. How many see actual use? Most of them get used. Most of them get used. Top 5 keyboards I own. This may join that list, but before the stream, I would say the 2 boards, my own personal design, I won't count those in the 5, the JO1 and JO2. They get far more use than anything else, but I won't count those. I really like the Jur G80. That's one of my all-time favourites. Okay, we've got one screw that didn't come out. I also like the Jane CE. In fact, I have 2 Janes. I have a CE and I have a V2 as well. So I've got the Jane V2 CE and I've got the Jane V2 as well. It's so difficult because every time people ask me this question, my answers are going to change because it just depends on what I've been using. So one of the other boards I really love is the Satisfaction 75 from UPAS. I've got one of the early prototypes. So yeah, I like that as well. I'm really partial to the Exent. I love chunky bezels, so really partial to that one as well.
Very nice.
Ooh, very nice. Thank you very much, Eskimo Joe, for the 14 months of subs. I never know whether the R in iron is silent. It is, yes. Which one's best for gaming? Whichever one you feel most comfortable with. King Xdam, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. I genuinely appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thank you. I don't have a problem. You have a problem, Jay 2020. Yeah, man, that's true. I mean, I don't have a problem. Like, I like to collect things. If it's not keyboards, the other thing I collect is cars. So if it wasn't me buying keyboards, I'd just buy more cars or car parts. So it's as simple as that. Need a lot of house to store it. Well, I have the so I run a shop called Prototypist as well. We sell keyboards and keyboard parts and run group buys and things like that. So I have a warehouse that has all my tools and equipment in there. My streams will actually be from there in a couple of weeks as well, rather than being from my personal office at home. So I have plenty of storage space. That's not a problem. There's plenty of storage space for them. What's my favourite Switch? It's difficult to say. Bang for buck, I think Gator and Blacks are the best on the market because they're 15 cents a piece, and you can do so much with them for so little. Overall, best Switch for most users straight out of the box without needing any tweaking, probably a H1. As to my favourite, I'll change it every single week. So you could ask me today and I'll tell you a different Switch next week. So yeah, it's difficult to say. Keyboard rental service provided by Prototypist. No, I don't trust other people with them. I don't even trust my wife with them. Jay's keyboard gallery went, yeah, we could probably get a keyboard gallery up. Maybe take some pictures. Did I get this screwdriver set from Banggood? No, this came from Amazon UK, because I'm based in the UK. That's where that came from, Amazon UK. It's just a good all-round set. This one came from, I don't know, somewhere. What cars do I have? I've got a few at the minute. I won't go through them all, but my pride and joy is my Datsun 240Z. Yeah, that's the Datsun Fair Lady. It's also known as. That's in bright orange. It's actually in the same orange as the Xent there, which is in shadow. But yeah, that's one of my favourite cars. In fact, it's my baby. It is my favourite car of the lot. I'm sure you've answered this before, but why do you prefer carbon fibre plate over any other material? So my views on carbon fibre is that, one, it looks good. I mean, look at that, it looks nice. How nice does that look? Two, it's flexible, but it's rigid at the same time. So where you have flex cuts in it, like here, you can see that it's actually pretty flexible. You know, depending on how you, depending on what you do with it, you can make it really flexible. You can make it quite firm, but it has a great property. It doesn't have any ping. So you don't get any noise transference into the case from this because it absorbs the sound better. So you don't get any ping. It gives a cleaner sound for the switches and keycaps, and that's what I like about it. I think it works exceptionally well with any gasket mounted material plates. So any gasket mounted boards such as this or the J series or anything else, it works really well with those. But yeah, depending on what you do with it, it can be all kinds of flexible, but it can be firm as well and relatively rigid. It's excellent for tactiles, and it's really good for linears as well. So there we go. That's why I like carbon fibre. What do you think of the new 400Z? Yes, probably going to buy. I think it looks great. We're going to get the Cater and build streams this year. Maybe, man. It's sat there, actually. I could get it in the workshop and do it in the workshop now. There is room in the workshop. Have you watched Hyperdrive on Netflix? No, good sir, I haven't, but I have a ton of stuff on Netflix I do want to watch. Hyperdrive is one of them, including Space Force. Space Force I want to watch as well. I haven't seen it as yet. 7V Hype says, Jay, do you offer a build service, and if so, is there pricing somewhere? I do offer a build service, but it's very rare I stream builds. I tend to just do them in the background because I have so many of my own boards to build on stream. My price list is available if you DM me on Discord. It used to be in my Discord server, but I've kind of taken it down to stop people pestering me every 5 minutes about it, and I did put the prices up thinking that would stop people as well. It didn't, so I had to take the price list down. But if anyone does want a build service from me, you can DM me. I charge £50 for a build, irrespective of size, £50 for desoldering, and then switch lubing is an additional cost as well. But yeah, I try and flat rate everything I can. How about CF on top mount? CF on top mount works really well as well, as long as you get the screws nice and firm when you're putting it in. Don't leave it too loose or anything like that. It works really, really well. Yeah. FR4 propaganda in chat. FR4 plates are alright. I don't dislike them. UPAS, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion, right? And UPAS isn't wrong with his choice of FR4. I'm not wrong with my choice of carbon fibre. I think, genuinely though, joking aside, the FR4 would probably be my second choice if carbon fibre wasn't so readily available. I have FR4 in my Brutal 60, and I really, really like it in that. It works really well, especially with the Burger mount. Works really well. And it's cheap. FR4 is dirt cheap. It's really good. Can you menu CF plates? Yes, I have a group buy going on right now on my website, prototypist.net. If you want to join the group buy, you can join it there by submitting a plate file. Make sure to take note of the requirements, but yes, if you've got the plate file, you can do that. Dang, Jay being all diplomatic. Upas, do you know what, right? You are one of the nicest guys in keyboards, and if it wasn't you, I might not have been so nice there. I might not have been so diplomatic, but genuinely, I feel like we have a rapport. I get on well with you, Upas. I've still got your Satisfaction 75, which I know you hate because it's got Handabytes on there, but that's a board that I'll never part with, being a prototype and everything else. So yeah, I feel like that gives us a little bond. Have you decided on a keycap set for this board? No, you guys are going to decide. I have a choice of 4 when it comes to it, and we've built the board. You guys are going to get to choose which keycap set goes on the board. You're going to have a choice between Modern Retro, Nines, Honeywell, or Olive, all GMK keycap sets. So there you go. You guys can pick from there. I'm not putting Olivia on it. Olivia, I actually have Olivia on the E8.5, which is just somewhere at the back there. So it's not going on there. You guys can pick and choose. We'll do a bit of a pick and choose when we get to the build and it's finished. Right, okay, let's try and crack open this board and see. Pusher says, you didn't listen to me last time with Olive, this time listen and put Olive on it. Hey, we're going to go with whatever group chat the chat say, so... Oh, that's tight, there we go. So, there we go guys. This is the stainless steel top, e-coated in white. You can see here, this is where we've got all of the cutouts for me to put the gaskets in, so we're going to be putting those in shortly. Man, that's a chunky piece of material. We've then got the ISO copper plate, so thank you very much to the Smith & Roon boys for making me a copper plate in ISO layout. We also have the Smith & Roon logo there, which my carbon fibre one doesn't have sadly, but there we go, it's looking pretty smart. You can see here all the Fe8 analysis they did, where there's gaps sometimes and not other times, to make the key feel as even as possible across the whole board. So there we go. So we will be using this plate for a second build later on, but we're not going to be using it today. In fact, let's before we do anything else, I'll just throw my stabilizer on the floor. Let's see how well the carbon fibre plate aligns. Okay, there you go. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Everything looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. There you go, guys. You can see it all lines up really nicely. So there we go. Let me just grab these stabilizers because we'll need them in a minute. There we go. So just to give you guys a taste of what this is going to look like. How nice does that look? Looks pretty good. It's copper, yeah, solid copper. Time to recalibrate my screen. Just want to show you guys on the inside, there are 2 screws here. If my camera will focus, you can change the badge on top with those 2 screws. So if you wanted to clean the badge, do something different with it, it is removable and you can change that. So yeah, so there we go. Pop the top case to one side. Let's take a look at the base. This is the solid copper base. This is the heavy part of the board. You can see here at the back there is a channel for the daughterboard cable. There's also the daughterboard channel in the middle as well, so you can see where the actual daughterboard sits, just in here. So there we go. It's pretty nice though. Solid copper. Feels really, really hefty, really chunky. You can also see just here, this is where we... And you see that groove just there. This is where we're going to install all of the gaskets once we've built the PCB and plate assembly. So there we go. Pop this to one side as well. Try and make sure nothing falls over. Okay, so it's now time to put the switches, stabilizers, PCB and plate all together. Honeywell will go very nice on that. Yes, it would. We will see what chat vote for. As I say, I've got Honeywell, GMK Honeywell, GMK 9, there's GMK Modern Retro, and GMK Olive, and you guys are going to get to choose which of those we use towards the end of the stream. Coinstorm's here as well. He says, hello, Jay. I got a random friend request from you, Coinstorm, the other day. I'm not sure what it's for, but I accepted it anyway, so thank you very much. Take a look at the PCB. So here's a PCB, guys. Smith & Roon branded, 65%, ISO compatible, which is great to see, and then this top block of free. So the version I have is actually the. Let me show you guys. It's actually the Desk Authority version for 2017. Set of the Year edition, so it's this version. This is unsealed, it's never been opened, it's brand new, it's been this way since I bought it in 2017. So there we go. Although I am kind of leaning towards classic retro, because this is a good set. This is a nice GMK set. This looks good. So maybe I can convince you guys to go with that. See how it looks. Hey Unicorn, thank you very much for joining. Coinsub says, just want to be friends with someone famous on Discord. Why did you ask me? I'm not famous. Go speak to Alex Otos or someone else who's really famous. which is the Oko set. So Oko Originative did quite a few sets. It was GMK Classic Retro, the one I just showed a second ago there. I'm a simple man. I see Desauthority. I upvote. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, time to do some stabilizer building then, guys. So we are going to be using a 6.25U bottom row, I believe, on this build, if I remember rightly. Let me just check. Yes, so 6.25U for the spacebar. We then need 2 more stabilizers, and just 2 more. We need one for full-size backspace, and we need one for ISO enter. Because we're building it ISO, we will be splitting left shift, we will be using step caps, and we will be splitting right shift as well, because it's 65%. So we only need 3 stabilizers in total, which is good. The less stabilizers, the better. They did analysis in Fusion to make it even type of feel. Yes, so a lot of these cuts just here in the plate that you can see here and here, this is called Fe8 Analysis. Forgive me, I can't remember what the FEA stands for, but it's basically testing out to make sure that every key feels the same when you press it across the board. That's why some places you'll see the gaps and some places you won't. So it's a really, really clever little tool to see how that works. It's probably easier to see on the copper plate actually, because the carbon fibre plate is a little bit darker, so it's probably easy to see the gaps there. So you can see you've got some just here, but you don't have it here, and that's just to make sure the type and feel feels even across the board. Finite element analysis, there you go, FEA. Okay, so we need 3 sets of stabilizers today, which is nice and easy. So we're using Duroc smoky stabilizers. You can see those just here. Smoky grey in colour. 2 housings for the spacebar, 2 housings for the backspace, 2 housings for the ISO enter. Same for the inserts, and then same for the screws. 2, 4, 6. There we go. Seems like something more people should do. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that we've seen quite a few builds with FEA built into the plate design going forward, so I think we'll see a lot more of it. People have been using it in the case design as well quite recently as well, which is exciting to see. So I don't think it's going away. I think we'll see a lot more of it. Okay, so would the cuts react the same with copper versus carbon fibre plate? Yeah, it's more about making them feel even, so it makes it feel even across the material. Now, what you have to do when you change it to the carbon fibre plate, you should just redo the FEA analysis, so the cuts aren't identical. You can see if you look at the carbon fibre version overlaid, hold on, yeah, do it this way. So you will see there is some places where there's cuts in the carbon fibre that you can see solid copper between. For example, here and here, here and here. That's just because the plate analysis was done differently, and you can see there's also some slight distances in that one there because of the way that the cutout is here, and you can see there's some more differences here as well. So you just run the same analysis across different materials and it gives you slightly different results, but yeah, it's absolutely possible to do it across the same. Yeah, opaque black stamps would be really nice. I'd love to see those. Okay, so we're going to put these stabilizers together. Lube them in a second. Just get these ready. Okay, so we'll be lubing these with dielectric grease. And the first thing we're going to do is take a stabilizer wire and we're going to put a nice amount on the end that's going to go inside the stabilizer housing. Don't want to put too much on. We're not trying to drown the stabilizer in lube. We're just trying to put a reasonable amount on to stop any rattle, keep it nice and smooth. So I don't want to over lube it. It's easy to add more lube later on than it is to take it away. Okay. That's now into the housing. You can see that's all working. We'll lube the actual housing itself shortly. Going to do the same on this side again. Try and keep the amount you add even, but don't add too much. It's always easier to add more lube later on than it is to try and remove it. So don't ever go too much. I love drowning mine. LOL. Yeah, I like to go light on lube and then correct it later on if I need to. Okay, now I've done that, the next thing we're going to do is just lube the inside of the slider. So you can see here, we're just going to lube the inside of the insert and then move it around a little bit, and that will coat the inside of the stabilizer housing as well. You want a really, really fine amount of lube on here. Well, the last thing we want is gummed up stabilizers. So there we go, you guys can see there. We've got a nice amount of lube on there. Flip it over, do the same on the other side. Don't need any more lube on the brush just yet. Move on to the next side. Okay. And then that way, any points that touch, this is just going to make sure that it's nice and lubricated on the inside. Now we're going to repeat that across the 2U stabilizers, and then we'll get them in the board. It's nice of you to stick around as well, Alex Otos. It's good to see you, man. We need to chat more because I've been following your Ether keyset or Aether keyset, and I'm very, very excited about that. It looks really good. You want it to splash out under the plate? God no, God no. I do not like overlubed stabilizers. The Aether samples came out really nice. Yeah, I was looking at them. That's what got me really interested in the set. Yeah, definitely going to be picking up a personal set of that. Okay, there we go. Got to go. Hope everyone has a great day. Well, thank you very much for being here, Peter, and I hope to see you again soon, sir. Thank you very much for being part of the stream. Okay, so we're almost done lubing these, which is probably the most boring part of the stream for you guys. Any JO1 round 2 leaks? Yeah, prototype has been shipped to me now officially, so soon. Keep an eye on Insta if you guys want to see the JO1 redesign. I think we're going to call it the Revision 1 officially, JO1 Rev 1. That's going to be the official title, I think. But keep an eye on Insta because things are coming. Things are coming. How's Midnight Rainbow going? Midnight Rainbow is doing pretty well. It's almost at MOQ. It's been open for just over a day and a half now, nearly 2 days, and I think we're about 80% of MOQ for both kits, so it's doing pretty well. I mean, technically it's past GMK's MOQ, but it was priced at 250 sets. So yeah, it's doing well. It's almost there. JO1 Rev 1 hype, yes. Yeah, keep an eye on Insta tomorrow and the day after maybe, because you might see something there. You may see something. Love that Midnight Rainbow set. Thank you, man. It's doing really well in group buy at the minute. I'm pretty happy with it. I am really excited to get my hands on the set when it does finally get made. Okay, it's a tough month this month as well with some of the big key sets it's going up against, because I know it's not got universal appeal like things like Modo and things like that do. So I'm really hyped by the fact that it's actually doing pretty well. When I woke up this morning and I saw the Novel Keys numbers, I was like, yeah, that'll do. It was a little bit like that film Babe, and it was like, that'll do, pig, that'll do. That was my reaction this morning. I was drinking a cup of coffee when I saw that. Okay, almost there now on these stabilizers, guys. I know this is the boring part. I know you guys don't want to see me lubing stabilizers, but we're almost there. 80% MOQ in 2 days with Modo running is super impressive. Yeah, we're doing all right. Smithers.tv says Midnight Rainbow is incredible. Thank you, man. I hope I can count on your purchase then. Thank you, dude. Either way, whether you guys buy it or not, thank you very much for the support. It's genuinely really nice. I actually want to see stabs lubed. Well, you can see my stabs being lubed right now. I already bought it. Nice. Nice. It's not doing massively well here in the UK. I'm the vendor for it here in the UK. I haven't got my keyboard numbers yet, or Asia's numbers yet, I don't think. Ireland KB, but it's doing pretty well. Plate looks like it's got a weird vertical enter key. It does. This is going to be an ISO build, I'm afraid, guys. I am in the UK. ISO is my layout of choice. But there's no right or wrong answers in this world. You guys can choose a different layout and be happy with it, and I can still be your friend. We don't have to agree to be friends. So I'm just putting the stabilizers into the plate now, into the PCB rather right now. Just making sure they're all nice and seated correctly. Okay. Remember, guys, when you're screwing the stabilizers in and you're tightening up these screws, you don't want to go too tight. All you're trying to do is just hold it in place. So as soon as you feel the resistance as the screw hits the PCB, go a quarter of a turn more, and that's it. You don't want to crack the PCB. I have seen people tighten these so much that they actually crack the PCB and the stabilizer housings before, and you don't want to do that, guys. So just be careful. Okay. I must say, it is nice when you get a PCB and the stabilizer housings fit in nice and easily. Sometimes it can be really difficult to get them in. How can you say to yourself that there are no wrong answers, unlike ISO? Hey man, right, we can have different opinions about things and still be friends. That is possible, guys. That is possible. We don't have to all agree and like the same things for the world to become, you know, a good place. We can have all sorts of you know, differences of opinion and still be happy. I can like Coke and you can like Pepsi, and that doesn't make us bad people. Surprising thing to learn, but it doesn't make us bad people. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure we're putting the space bar in the right place. Okay, it's going to be kind of tight. Ooh. Fix that in a second. Just want to make sure we've got this in the right spot. Okay, so I want to go in there. Plate's going to be tight on the old stabilizers, but we'll fix that. That'll be fine. Pepsi's nasty. No Coke, only Pepsi. See, guys, you can disagree, but you guys are still friends, or you can be friends. It's fine. Different opinions. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's a scary thought, but we can have different opinions, and we can still be friends. We can still get on. It's possible, man. It is possible. I know that this is a hard thing to believe in this world, but it's true. It's true. Chat is famous for getting along and loving everyone and everything. Hey, I don't care if you disagree with me. Doesn't stop us being friends. Doesn't stop me liking you guys just because we disagree. Okay, so there we go. That's the stabilizer installed. Now, I know this plate's going to be tight around the ISO enter. Carbon fiber plates do tend to be tight. Durex stabilizers are slightly wide. We are going to have to give this a bit of a push to get it in place. I'm expecting this. There we go. There we go. And there we go. So there you go. You can see that the plate and PCB assembly is all now. Focus camera, please. There you go.
Ooh, very nice.
Ooh, very nice. Jack Static, thank you very much for the subscription. That timing there was absolutely exceptional. Very nice, just as we started to look at the stabilizers in the housing. Cool. Next job is to put in some switches. So let's get some switches in. 5-month streak as well for Jack Static. Thank you, dude. No HBCP situations here, sir. Nope, absolutely not. I know what I'm doing. Maybe Brian doesn't. We'll see. Just saying literally the same thing as last few times about difference of opinion. It makes me feel like having deja vu. Hey, man, it's true. I may repeat myself, but it doesn't stop it being true. Will you be joining the Heine TKL1 raffle? I hadn't seen that it was going to be raffled, but yes, I want a Heine TKL. I definitely want one. So perhaps I will be. Going to put in a couple of switches in the center of the board here, and then we're going to work our way around the rest of the board. Yeah, when is the Heine raffle happening? Tell me, guys, because I haven't seen any updates on it. I have been massively busy over the past couple of days. Spent pin on that one, so we're just going to switch switch the switch. There we go. Full backspace, best backspace. Yeah, I don't like split backspace unless I'm using a slightly different layout. So I only like split backspace on HHKB or sometimes if I'm forced to use ANSI layout, I will tend to use split backspace then. On ISO, I always prefer full backspace. But it might shock some of you to know that I have been dailying an ANSI board for the past couple of weeks. I've been using the Allison, which I think you've just got yours, Upas, actually. You should have just got yours in the post quite recently. But I have been dailying that in the workshop, and I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying the board a lot. I struggled with the layout for a couple of days. I still struggle to swap between the two. I miss enter all the time when I move back to ISO, and I tend to hit ISO enter at the top. So on the ANSI board, that's backspace, so I tend to hit backspace quite a lot. Upas is waiting on someone to lube his switches for his Allison. Well, there you go. These are H1 switches, Gaudi good. These are H1s. These are stock, apart from they've been slightly lubed on the spring with Krytox 104. There's no films in here. There's no lube on the housing other than the stock lube that they come with. They just have a little bit of lube on the springs just to ease them a little bit. With the bent pin there. Rather than straighten the pins, it's just easier to grab another switch at the minute. I use ANSI HHKB daily, and I'm just using an ISO board at the minute, and it's weird. Hey man, don't be like that against ISO. All layouts are valid. This one doesn't want to go in. Don't know why. So this is the only problem with H1s. They do end up with bent pins quite often. Someone needs to Mission Impossible into Jay's house and replace all the boards with ANSI versions. Good luck getting enough boards to replace all the ones in my house. I think, oh, Cody O'Toole did tag earlier on. He said, is there any plan when the bespoke service will start running? It is actually running, good sir. The issue is that we got, like, literally I put it up for one day and we got so many people talking to us about it that we kind of ran out of capacity to deal with custom orders. This is for a bespoke design service, so we ended up with 9 customers and not enough time to deal with them immediately for 9 different builds. So and that's like full designs from inception all the way through CAD design, PCB design, right the way through to prototyping and etc. The Allison was the first one, of course, that went through there, and there's been others as well that I can't talk about. Argyle is coming, that's one of them as well. But yeah, the prototypist bespoke service is running. It's just going to be, there's a bit of a queue. So it's not officially live, so we've had to stop taking orders for it for now. As soon as it's open again, and the space and capacity, I will absolutely increase that and make people aware. Just realised that one's got a bent pin. I could feel it as I was putting it in. Let me just grab a switch pull-up. Could just feel the switch pin bending as I pushed it into the board. Yeah. Bourbons or custard creams? Bourbons. Custard creams are nice, but I much prefer a bourbon biscuit. I want to hear more about it. How does it work? Someone tells you pretty much what they want and you design PCB and case, make it happen. Yeah, there's kind of like different levels of it. So you can come with like an idea already baked and you can have a CAD file if you want, and we can go from there. We've had customers do that. Or you can come with kind of like an idea and a layout that you want but not much else, and we can go from there as well, or anything in between. Use custom PCBs off the shelf, whatever you kind of need really. We can go through the whole design service and come up with a design, custom, one-of-a-kind board just for you. Prices are dependent on kind of how much work it is and what you need and all of that kind of stuff. It does differ, especially where you come in the process as well. If you've already got like CAD files, it's a little bit cheaper than if you want us to do the design from scratch and things like that. But yeah, it's all there, and if you're interested, then just reach out and we'll talk about it. There is a queue, as I say, at the minute, so it's going to be a few months before we start work on it. But absolutely, I'm free to talk if you want to. Okay, are you planning to do this full time eventually? Because it sounds like you need to be at least 3 Js to get all that work done plus data. No, I have no spare time to speak of, but I like what I do for a day job. I'm not going to give that up. Running the store, doing the stuff that I'm doing, proxying, and doing the bespoke services, it's kind of ticking over okay in my spare time. Keeps me busy, but not too busy. Step caps, because step caps is best, by the way, guys. It's a bourbon, kind of both are right, Glacier. You can't really go wrong with either pronunciation. I think it depends on where in the UK you're from as to how they're pronounced. What are the switches there? H1s, if you do exclamation mark build or bang build, depending on what you want to call the symbol, you can see the details. That tells you what we're putting together today, guys. Okay, making some good progress here, guys. Almost there with putting these in, and then once we put the switches in, it'll be time to solder, and that does mean that it's question and answer time. So we are going to do an AMA whilst I solder. Basically means that you can tag me using @TopClack. You can ask any question. Doesn't have to be related to keyboards. Can be related to keyboards. Can be related to other things. And as long as it's Twitch and terms of service safe and I feel comfortable answering it, then I will answer any question. It can be about life, it can be about my cars, it can be about what I do for a day job, it can be about, you know, what do I think of your key set design, or, you know, anything at all. And I will be as open and as honest as I can be. All you need to do is just tag me using the TopClack @TopClack function, ask a question, and we'll go from there, because we are just about to get into the soldering. So get your questions ready, guys, and we'll talk about it soon. James is sorting out Konya Tour, so there we go. So you go, guys, this is what the build's going to look like internally. Looking pretty good, right? Black PCB, black switches, black stabs, black plate, all looking good, all nice and neatly aligned, all ready for some solder. Okay, let's get our soldering iron ready. And get some solder ready as well. Okay. Right. Let's start doing some soldering and answering some questions. So the first question comes up is, what cars do I own? I own a few cars. I'm not going to go through them all because it's quite a long list, but I will tell you my daily driver and my favourite car. So daily driver, I have a Kia Sportage. That's a 2019 model. I've had it just over 18 months now. March 2018, yeah, 2018 model. And it does fine. It's boring to drive, but hey, it works great for carting the dog around, going shopping with the wife, moving stuff to and from the warehouse, all that kind of stuff. It works great for. My favourite car is my Datsun Fairlady 240Z S30, whatever you want to call it. It has all of those names and more. It's bright orange, and it's my pride and joy. I've had it a few years now. It took me 2.5 years to restore it from scratch, and I wouldn't be without it. It is genuinely the pride of my life. It's the car I've spent the most time, effort and money on, and I absolutely love it. Next on the car job is to build my Caterham, because that's there as a kit car. It is not built yet. It's just all in boxes, and I've had it for a couple of years, and I need to start putting that together. So that is my next car job. Okay, second question comes from Depleted Vespine. It says, can keyboard PCBs be designed so that they can be reversible? Yes, they can. So I've done this with Yanka before on a design where the PCB was actually reversible. So if you soldered components on one side, it gave you the left half of a split board. If you soldered components on the other side, it gave you the right hand side of a split board. So it's absolutely achievable. It's absolutely possible. You need some forethought, but it is possible to do. You just need to put your components on the opposite sides when you do it. So with a bit of thought, achievable. Depending on the layout. Layouts and things do constrict it, so you have to bear that in mind. What do you think the next hot feature is? Isolation mount rotor encoder for the hobby. So I think that isolation mount's been done quite a lot now. I don't think that's a new feature anymore. I think we've seen it, you know, with Kepler, J01, you know, the keycut boards. They all have isolation mount variants now. So I don't think that's particular innovation. What I do think we'll see a big swing in going forwards is changing from switches with leaves and the traditional MX style actuation that we see to more optical. So we'll see optical style switches. So we see the flare tech switches in things like the Wooting series of boards. I think that that's going to become much more mainstream, and we'll start to see that blend over into the customs as well. So I think we'll see more boards designed, more PCBs designed to take use of the optical style switches. I think we'll see some new standards in how optical switches work, so there'll be multiple switches be compatible across multiple PCBs, and I think that'll grow, but I think that'll take 3 to 4 years. But I do think we'll definitely see more of that going forwards. You heard it here first, folks. Have you used washers for the screw and stabs? No, because there's nowhere where the screw and stabs actually affect anything, so there's no point where... So let me show you really quickly, guys. I only use the washers if I need to. You can see here that screw does not touch any of the points. That screw does not touch any of the points. That screw does not touch any of the points or components. Same here. That one just touches one, but it's fine because it's not shorting anything out. And that one there as well. So there is no need for us to put washers on there. Okay, what's the latest on the round 2 J01? So J02 revision, watch out on Insta over the next couple of days, because there might be something that you see on there that you might like if you're interested in the J01 revision. Prototype's on its way. Prototype has shipped from the factory. You might see some stuff on Insta tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, so keep an eye out on Insta stories and posts, because things are coming. That's all I'll say. Soon. Okay. Do I have cats? No, I don't have any cats. I do have a pet dog, though. Do have a pet dog, and she's cute as hell. Zephyr says, do I think aftermarket prices will ever go down? No. I think that what's going to happen is this hobby is going to keep on growing like it has done. Aftermarket prices are going to keep going up over time. And then what's going to happen is we're going to get to a point where the vendors have enough confidence in the market, enough capital available to actually start buying more stuff in stock, and we'll try and move away from the group buy model. I think we're a couple of years away from it just yet. I think we've seen people trying it. Upas has been trying it with some of the boards that he puts in place. So I think rounds of the Brutal 60 and things like that, you know. Project Keyboard has been doing it with the Sirius. I think we're going to see more of that, and that will gradually lead to a transition away from the group buy model, and that will be when we start to see aftermarket prices not be necessarily so high. The stuff that historically ran that's still of limited quantity, that will always command high prices, and I don't think that'll ever change. The boards might go up and down individually, depending on what's the flavour of the week. So you might see that Jane's might start dropping in price, or they might go up in price, or whatever. But I think overall, that's what it'll need to be to fix the aftermarket in terms of stopping flipping prices. It's one of the few hobbies where things second-hand are worth more than they are brand new. I mean, it's not the only one. You can look at sneakers as well, and that's kind of the same. How is my day going? My day's been going really well. I spent this morning with a coffee and some spreadsheets, which was kind of tough. I bought a new keyboard today. Well, I haven't paid for it yet, but I agreed to buy a new keyboard today, which is always exciting. We had a cheeky McDonald's today as well, which we don't usually do, and McDonald's hasn't been open in our country for a long time in the UK. It opened just this past week, and the wife and I decided we were going to do that for our Sunday dinner instead of making a roast dinner. So it's been a good day. It's been a good day. And now I'm here with all of you lovely people doing a keyboard stream. What could be better on my Sunday afternoons? Like, genuinely, I absolutely love doing this. Have you ever felt like taking a break from the hobby? Not this hobby, but other hobbies, yes. And if you ever feel like taking a break, that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with taking a break if you want to. I have a lot of commitments and responsibilities, so it's difficult for me to take too much of a break. But you know, I can often take like an evening and I just don't ignore, I'll just ignore emails for an evening, or I'll not stream one Sunday because I just need some time with the wife or whatever. So you know, you have to do what's right for you. You have to put your mental health first. But yeah, I'm comfortable with everything that I do. I wouldn't do something if it made me feel uncomfortable. What are the top 3 least visually pleasing cars ever, and why is it the Fiat Multipla with that weird bonnet bulge on the list? Yeah, the Fiat Multipla's one. Trying to think what else has been terrible. The Renault Espace, that was horrible. I didn't like that, and the old Citroen XS as well. I don't know what it was called elsewhere, but the Citroen XS, it was here in the UK. That was terrible too. But there's been really, really weird ones. There's probably been 1,000 cars I hate that I can't think of the names of right now. Good question though. Good question. To piggyback off of Kiwira's question, how do you avoid burnout? Considering an extended break from the hobby myself due to it. If you feel that you need some time away, take some time out. Just do it. Just tell it what you need to do. Say you're going to take a break from this date, and then come back when you feel you need to. You know, don't let other people force you to do things that you don't want to do. You should never feel like you're indebted to other people unless they've paid you money to do something. In which case you should either return the money, or you should do the job and just get it done to the best of your ability. But turn Discord off if you need it. You know, take a few days away. Stop replying to emails. You know, people don't need an email response immediately. You know, people will wait and people will be patient. And you know, if you put up an announcement on your Discord server or on your email out of office or whatever saying responses are going to be delayed for a couple of days, just need some personal time, I think most people are going to respect that. And I think if you're not comfortable doing that, then that's a mindset change that you need to make. If you feel like you have to be around and you have to be doing things in the community, then you need to try and change that mindset and just take a break. The world's not going to stop if you don't do something. The world will carry on, people will be comfortable. You know, there's 1,001 things that I have to do on my to-do list that I haven't done. I know Swishy's going to contact me and ask me if I've sent a certain email yet. I haven't, but I will, and I'm not worried about or stressing about it because life's too short. And I need to make sure I put myself first, and I've got other commitments and responsibilities that I prioritise over them. And that's what keeping an even keel on things is, really. It's looking at your commitments and prioritising them. But your number one priority always has to be you and your family. And if it's not, then you need to reevaluate how you're prioritising things. Okay. What's up next? You know, G says, do you see videos showing off a UHM WPE slate? Sounds like a future for flexi plates. I haven't seen anything. No, if you've got one, PM me. I'll take a look, and I'll try order one as well for something. Geo1 remenu update, please. Prototype's on its way to me. Keep watching on Instagram. Big things are coming. Which switch would you put on a copper plate for the M165? A Holy Panda, Black Inks, MX Xylence, creams with UHMs. Probably Black Inks. I'm kind of moving away from tactile switches, so I probably wouldn't use Holy Pandas. MX Silence, I'm not really a fan of silent switches either. Like, I've never wanted to put silent switches in a board. Creams with UHM stems, they'd probably be my second choice, and I'd probably put Black Inks first in that list. Huey says, if your fair lady was a keyboard, what would it be? It'd be my Xen. Beautiful, sexy, but not everyone sees it. Maybe that's not fair. Maybe that's not fair because I don't know. I see beauty in the car where other people might not. And I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It doesn't have to necessarily be something that other people feel. So like when I said that I agreed with someone that earlier on I said the Fiat Multipla is an ugly car. If someone likes that, that's fine. Someone thinks that's a cool design. Oh, the Plymouth PT Cruiser, that was an ugly car. That was a really ugly car. The PT Cruiser from Plymouth. Okay. Do you think GMK keycap set group buys are oversaturated? They're still selling. I think if it was oversaturated, things wouldn't hit MOQ. And if we get to a month where 5 key sets fail MOQ, that's when we're oversaturated. The challenge is, how do we keep it fresh, and how do we keep new colorways coming forwards, and how do we decide when to do reruns of existing sets, and how do we sort out ownership of colors and things like that. That's the challenges we're going to face in the future. Full is asking, what do I do as a day job? For a day job, I work for a fintech company, and I'm a senior program manager stroke product owner for a number of different projects within a fintech company, which is basically banking. Yeah. So I work with programmers, developers, hardware consultants, engineering, finance teams, and I kind of organise and correlate and coordinate all of those together to make sure that we deliver to our projects on plan and our products on plan. I've been doing it for about, for the bank, I've been working for the bank for about 15 years now, and I've probably been doing this particular role for about 8, and I enjoy it, I'm good at it, and I like it, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. Okay. Questions are slowing down now. Zapri says, Clack, what do you think of cat profile for typing on? I really enjoy it. I think cat profile is one of the nicest profiles out there. I am slightly worried at the cat queue at the minute, because there is a lot of key sets in the cat queue, and it is going to take a long time for those to be manufactured and shipped. But I do think it is the nicest profile on the market right now after Cherry. And I'm excited to try more of it. I'm waiting for Cat Drifter myself at the moment. I do want to try and pick up Milkshake Extras. What else have I bought recently? Cat Explosion as well. So, yeah. Lots of cat. Lots of cat. GMK Holy Panda. Yeah, I saw that one as well, Huey. Was not a fan, personally. But hey, you know, as long as the designer likes it and other people like it, I'm sure it'll do well. I know not many people like my set, Midnight Rainbow. I don't expect it to sell anything like Modo numbers or anything like that, but hey, you know, as long as it makes MOQ, that's good enough for me. Okay, almost there now. Almost finished soldering. So if you have got any questions, last shout for questions now to get them in. Glacier says, if you're a product manager, have a look at Mind the Product. It's my other half's company, helps to connect and learn with other product managers. Nice. Yeah, drop me an email, Glacier, and I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, drop me an email, drop me a ping, drop me a Discord message, whatever. Reach out, get in touch, have a chat. Islander shipped yet? No, Islander hasn't shipped yet. Islander is likely to ship later on this year. I think September to October is the estimated timeline from TKC. I'm really excited for it as well, because I bought myself a personal set of that. I've been playing a little bit of Animal Crossing on the Switch, although I haven't played it for nearly a month now, which I need to catch up. Okay. Okay, soldering tick. Awesome. Talk like, what is your dream car? Your car endgame, I guess. Money no object. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. There's so many cars I'd love. I tend to prefer classic cars, and I tend to prefer things that aren't particularly popular, like not massively popular, that generate millions of dollars and things. Most of the cars I want are quite achievable. I do want a UK right-hand drive Datsun 510. That is something I definitely want at some point in my life. Datsun cars are a real string puller of the heart for me. What else? I would love a Mustang GT500. Absolutely love one of those. Fastback. Probably one of the later year ones. Absolutely adore those. Some of the early Bugattis. Okay, so now we are talking out of my budget, but some of the early Bugattis are absolutely beautiful. But yeah, older cars more than younger, newer cars generally. Anything older than the 80s. The next purchase is probably going to be some sort of vintage kind of pickup truck, like a small Datsun kind of pickup truck, Nissan Sunny type style thing, or maybe a VW Caddy or something like that. Just because it'll make it easy for the workshop and moving things around. That's probably going to be my next car. The other car that I'm looking for at the minute is I want a right-hand drive Lada Riva. because I want to turn it into a track car. Just because it's for fun. So there we go. Some of the old Skylines are really beautiful. The Hakasuka, yeah, I'd love those old ones. They're beautiful cars, but probably not going to be able to afford one of them anytime soon. Last question then. Would you rather have a board that sounds amazing but feels bad, or have a keyboard that feels amazing but sounds bad? Sound is more important to me than feel. I do prioritize it that way, but there comes a limit. I'd rather have a good mix of both rather than have it skewed one way than the other. I'd rather have a good mix of both. So there we go. There we go. Is Infinikey really low Q though? I didn't say Infinikey was low Q. I meant Creative with Cat. I think we're talking about Cat. I think Infinikey's Q is backing up now. I don't know how quickly that's going to get out, but I'm relatively confident in the September-October timeframe for Islander. I think that's okay. I think we've caught up with chat. A friend of my dad recently bought a Lancia Delta Integrale HF in yellow with black Alcantara interior. Damn, son, that sounds nice. I, me, you, thank you very much for the raid, good sir. Welcome to the stream. We are building an Iron 165 FE version. It's exciting. Crash says, does your wife have an expensive hobby as well? She collects handbags. And that doesn't sound expensive, but it is. So yeah, there we go. Cat having more quality issues? Don't think so. I think Cat's pretty good at the minute. I think it's some slight tolerance issues, but it's PBT, kind of par for the course. Which company manufactures MT3? Drop own the rights to MT3. It was designed by...
Very nice.
Ooh, very nice. I, me, you, thank you very much for the subscription, dude. Thank you, dude, from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, Matteo designed the shape of the caps for MT3, but Drop paid for all of the molds as far as I'm aware, so they own they own the profile, right? That's where it is. Handbags cost like 10 times keyboards. They can do. They can do. Yeah, they can do. Can we get a notification with Jay saying that, damn son? Maybe. Someone can clip it and we'll do it. Right, next up, guys, it's time to test the PCB. Now, for that, I do need to bust out a Doddle board. We'll test the PCB. I'll get switch it up so you guys can see. Hopefully, everything will work. Hopefully. I'm sure it will. I'm pretty confident in it. And assuming everything does work, then we'll be good to carry on with the rest of the build. Oh wait, is this going to be long enough? This doesn't really feel long enough, I've got to be honest. But okay. Okay. I'm gonna steal. In fact, do you know what? Let's use the new USB-C cable from the NK65 because I really like this cable. So I'm gonna use this. You watch, the cable won't work now. Okay, well, that's all plugged in. Let's see. I too, Upas, want to get on the Susu Atari extras. Let's see if Switch Hitter is working, guys. So let me bring up Switch Hitter so you guys can see it. Should be right in the center of your screens now. Okay, let's see if we get any response from this PCB. Uh-oh. No response. Is this the cable? Let's try a different cable. Let's try a USB-C cable that we know works. Is it a bootloader? There's a switch. Ah, there is a switch. Hold on. Upas confused me with a little switch. Okay, let's try again. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go and try that cable again, because Oh, backspace is needs reprogramming, but we're all good other than that. I think Upas, can you confirm if this is in VIA as well? Is it in VIA? Is that something I can use on this board? Okay, we're all looking good so far. There's a boot switch too. Yeah, I found the boot switch. Cool. Oh, that's programmed wrong, but there we go. It does work. Oh, they're the wrong way around. But yeah, nice. That's not you. I'm not going to blame anyone. It's UK ISO. We'll be fine. I think we've tested those. Yeah, all good. Space. That's F. Should give us F keys. There we go. All working just fine. Backspace is coming up slightly wrong, but we can fix that in via. There we go. Cool. Okay, so now we know that the board is all working. I'm going to test that other cable as well because I didn't realise the PCB had a switch on it. Why can I not get this in? Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. So let's test this with the cable again. Because I'll be upset if this cable doesn't work, because I really like it. Whoops. Okay. The ISO key's been swapped. Yeah. The ISO key, as long as it's VIA, we can do that. There we go. The cable does work, so we're all looking good from there. Cool. Okay, time to put the rest of the board together, and that does mean we need to install some gaskets. We can get rid of switcher, kapow, there it is, gone. And now we can install some gaskets in the case. We have the gaskets here. Let's do the top case first. Nordhell says, I'm going to turn in for the night, got work early in the morning. Thanks for a lovely stream. Good night, everyone. Thank you, man, for being here. Genuinely appreciate it. Take your time tonight, dude. Have a good evening, and I'll see you again, hopefully, on a future stream. Okay. Gotta love when gaskets are self-adhesive. It's not particularly straight, but it'll be fine. There we go. Okay. I'm really excited to see how this one turns out and how it sounds once we've got the whole board put together. Okay. Gasket not pre-installed on the irons. It's not pre-installed on this one, sir. No, it is needs manual installation. I can see why though. It's a bit of a QC. Can you imagine doing this for a QC perspective? You need like some kind of jig to be able to do it for all of them. But yeah, it's fine. I don't mind installing my own gaskets. I think that's not a bad part of the build. If I can install my own switches, I should be able to install my own gaskets. I wouldn't expect any vendor to install gaskets for me. The JO2 gaskets as well don't come pre-installed, and the main reason for that is probably similar to the Iron Guys reasoning. It's part of the process, right? It's part of the doing it yourself. And last one to go in on the bottom, and then we need to, sorry, on the top, and we just need to do the bottom case. Help if I could align this one. There we go, that's all of those installed. Now time to install them on the base as well. Get this hefty copper base back up. And then we can start to put the rest of the board together. Such chunky copper. Is this only your personal build? Yes, it's very rare I do builds for other people on stream. The vast majority of builds that you will see are personal ones that I do on stream. I do builds for other people, but I tend to stream my own boards. That way, if I do something wrong, it's only my board that takes the brunt of it. Bless me. OCD would be so high with the gaskets. Yeah, it's difficult to get them straight as well, but hey, you have to be comfortable with where you get them to. There we go. Mine says it will arrive on Tuesday. Nice. But I'm hoping in the morning it will say different. Hopefully you'll get it tomorrow, dude. I think the first irons from Cannon Keys get delivered tomorrow. Awesome. Are they all shipped now, Upes? Can you tell me that? Because I think I am expecting some of the plum ones to come to me, because I did promise people I would do free builds for the plum ones because I wanted to see the plum. So I am expecting a few of those boards in to build as well. Okay, last gasket to go in here. Thoughts on the Iron 180? Yeah, I'm going to pick one up, absolutely. If nothing more than the fact that I love the Smith & Rune guys and what they stand for. So I will always support them where I can, and the key sets and keyboards and whatever else they make, just because I like what they stand for. I like the cut of their jib. So yeah, big fan. Okay. Give it that fingerprint. Come on. Mostly gone. Yeah, so I'm 180, definitely going to pick it up. Okay, is this going to be long enough? Yes, okay. Man, that looks tight. Okay, time to get the screws in. So these are the screws to hold in place the daughter board. I think they're going to take this connector. Yes. So I'm just lining up the USB port now, and then I'm going to screw these screws down. This one in. I'm going to go diametrically opposed, which means I'm going to go in the corners. And then we just realised I'm just going to have to trim this gasket a little bit. So, guys, note to your good selves: when you are installing your gaskets on these boards, try and put your daughter board in first. I should have done this, but I can't get in without taking the gasket. So I'm just going to trim it just a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to screw it in, and then we'll put the gasket back into place. Should install the dartboard first. Yeah, but hey, the dartboard should be replaceable, UPass, so I shouldn't have to install it first. You know, I shouldn't have to remove my gaskets if the dartboard breaks in the future. Come on out. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it should be a replaceable part, should the dartboard. It's fine. These are the things that you have to put up with on some custom builds. It's an easy fix. And now, there we go. You'd never know. This, you have to do the same thing on the JO2 designs as well. So, yeah, bear that in mind, guys. Put the gaskets on the plate. Big brain. So the thing is, if I put the gaskets on the plate, actually, are full. What I have to do then is I have to keep the same plate or buy more gaskets. I only got one set of gaskets, so I have to. He hates it when I call him Ashley. I know it's not his name. I just like to call him. So I would have to use the same build constantly. I wouldn't be able to switch builds because I only have one set of gaskets. So I'd have to beg UPass or the Smithing Room boys to send me another set of gaskets if I installed them on the plate. I do want to have another build for this using the copper plate that I can swap in and out, and I wouldn't be able to do that if I did it the other way. So there we go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Fool. I'm sorry. It was a poor joke in poor taste at the poor time. But you know I love you, man. Okay, daughterboard is in. Now it's time to plug in this connector and then lay the PCB in its position. There we go. I'm going to take the top case. I'm going to drop this over the top, just like so. Then we're going to flip this over. Gosh, this is so heavy. So heavy. Okay, it's time to put this back together. Is this a keyboard or self-defense mechanism? It's a bit of both. It doesn't seem to be quite sitting together properly at the minute. Let's just... Let's just make sure it's... Okay. It just needs nipping together a little bit whilst we screw the screws in, I think. You have to put some weight on it to compress the gaskets. Yeah, I'm realising that. Sketchy on PC, I bet it is. No, the cable's in the door. It's in there. I could see it in position. The cable is definitely in position. It's just literally the compression of the gaskets, guys. So all I'm going to do is pinch it together. I can feel the gaskets compressing, and then screw the screw in place. Once these screws are holding it in nice and neatly, I can then come back and tighten it up after. That doesn't feel like it's grabbing. Just trying to get all this front edge done. Do you know what? I'm just going to try doing it with this on the front because I can put a bit more pressure on with this particular driver. And hopefully that's going to... There we go. It's just going to tighten the front edge down, and that should help align the back. There we go. Yeah, these aren't quite long enough I like these tool bits for me to feel comfortable pushing it down, because they're magnetic as well, so it's just going to jump back up into the chamber. Okay, I'm sure we can get one of these in now. Okay, you can see the compression in the gaskets when I squeeze the board. So all I need to do is just squeeze it hard enough, get one of the screws in place at the back,
Very nice.
and we'll be golden. Thank you very much, Dr. Unconscionable, for the subscription. We very much appreciate that, Mr. Good sir. Just doesn't feel like it's quite grabbing. Yeah, they both came out. Okay, well the front's in. Just need to get this rear in now. Okay, that's going in now. That is going in. Okay. Now we should be able to get the rest of these in. Could do them with some slightly longer screws. There we go. That feels much more secure now. The Fe165fe, yeah. Okay. Okay guys, in a minute you guys are going to have to choose which key set we use for this. So, I hope you guys are ready. If someone wants to make me a straw poll, actually, we could do it that way. That's probably the fairest way. Yeah, Zapri, you've just volunteered yourself to make a straw poll, good sir. So Zapri, if you want to make a straw poll and then post the link, the 4 choices are going to be GMK Olive, am I missing a screen? Yeah, there it is. GMK Olive is the first choice. We've got GMK Classic Retro. We've also got GMK Honeywell. We've got GMK 9s. And we've got GMK Olive. I'm not going to put PBC on this one, no. Feels good. So, you guys can say what you want in chat, but you need to put your fingers where your opinion is. And wait for Zapri. I thought it was colour chrome full that I need on this. Oh, there's 2 running. Walker was there first, but I asked Zapri to do it. Let's use Zapri's, guys. Sorry, Walker. I do apologise, but I did ask Zapri to do it. I'm only going to look at Zapri's because that was the guy I asked to do it. But thank you, Walker. Anyway, I do appreciate that. I'm going to watch on Zapri's. I'm going to vote for what I want to see on it, but we'll see what you guys come up with. So I am watching on Zapri's. So guys, if you voted on Walker's, thank you very much. But vote on the other one as well. We're going to give it a couple of minutes. Okay. Okay, I'm comfortable that that's all now nice and neat and tidy and stuck together properly. So I'm going to install the bump-ons really quickly. I like these bump-ons. Nice, small, not too big, not too round. I mean, by round, I mean not too domed. Sometimes you get them in these huge domes and they stand really proud of the board. These just fit nice and flush. This is good. Rip Classic Retro. Is it losing? You guys aren't going for what I thought you'd go for. We'll give it another minute, guys. We'll give it another minute. We've only got 23 people, 23, 33, 43. We've only got 54 votes, it says in the bottom. Oh, man, this looks so good. Look how good this looks. Look how nice that is. Guys, I'm so happy with this already. I'm so happy with this. Classic set for a classic board. Nice. Shame you might get to really with 9s. 9s isn't a bad set. Go on, guys. You've got another half a minute to vote.
Very.
9 Walker, thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much, dude. I genuinely appreciate that. That's 2 months of subscriptions now, so thank you. Thank you. Okay. New fave board, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't typed on it yet, so, and to be honest, I'll tend to use it for a week or two before I decide whether it goes into my regular rotation or if it sits on the shelf for a few weeks before I use it again. Is the same being offered for the i180 being copper? I don't know, Chris, if they're going to do a FE version of the i180. I hope they do, because if they do, I'll be in on it, but we shall see. Okay, well, Pusher, if we stick with GMK9s, which is winning, I promise at some point in the week I will send you a picture with Olive on it. But it does look like 9s has got it. Just to prove that I did have all of these sets to hand, ready to go. We have, this is GMK Classic Retro. There it is. Because the other week someone accused me of not having all of the sets and rigging the vote. So just want to show you guys that they are all here, ready to go. Honeywell. 9s that we'll be using, so I'll keep that out. And then Olive as well is just there. So there you go. I don't want to be called out. With flex, but okay, absolutely. Send Honeywell to me. No. Honeywell's not going anywhere. There we go. Okay. So GMK9s did win it by significant margin as well. 42%. Next closest was GMK Olive with 22%. Then Honeywell with 20%. And then Classic Retro with 17%. So there we go. GMK Boneyard versus GMK9s. Don't know. It's kind of like a mid-round of Honeywell 7 V-Hype. It was the 2017 Set of the Year edition, so because it won the Death Authority Set of the Year, it ran again on Originative back in 2017. So it's that version. But I do have most of the versions of Honeywell. Throw those away, please. I kind of like to keep it all neatly together, to be honest. The pegs are trash, but they're better than nothing. They're better than nothing. Let's get all of that out of the way. Okay, so the next thing that you guys have to decide is, do we use these accent keys? Do we use the escape and the enter accent key? Yes or no in chat now, guys. Yes if you want to see these on the board, no if you don't, and we'll go with whatever the majority feels like. If it helps, my view would be to not use them. Everyone's saying no. No accents, no accents. Accents, gone. There you go. Okay, no accents. Too many votes for no. I don't think I saw a single yes. I don't think I saw a single yes. Rip accents. They'll be fine. They're GMK keycaps. Is this how Brian lost his Q keycap? Maybe. Yeah, I just threw it around. Send me the accents. I'm not getting rid of them. I'm just going to put them back in the box depleted Vespine. It's not like... there was a symbolic chuck over the shoulder. It wasn't like a real, I don't want these anymore. Stop arguing for freebies. Gosh. Okay. Should have been GMK Olive, boys. If you guys want, once we've seen this version on here, we can take it off and we can do right at the end of the stream, we can put Olive on. That is possible. We can do that. If you guys demand it enough in chat, we can switch this for Olive at the end of the stream. If we get 10 people say they want to see Olive at the end of the stream, we'll do it at the end. Honeywell, boys, rise up. Honeywell will probably end up on it at some point. All right, okay. I think enough people have said Olive, so we'll do the typing test and we'll see what it sounds like with 9s, and we'll have a look at all that. And then right at the very end of the stream, we'll change the keycap sets over, and we'll put Olive on. We've got step caps, which is here. Dracula gang, yeah, Dracula would be exciting to see when it comes out. I'm actually personally I'm going to prefer GMK Nord. I'm really looking forward to Nord as a key set. So I'll be joining that. I don't like Olive, but why not? You put the wrong enter key on there. The other enter key doesn't fit, Max Surfy. The other enter key doesn't fit. Now, I can't remember what keys this actually does have for ISO support. I feel like it's got the wrong ones. It's got terminal style. That's not too bad. Terminal style's not too bad. Terminal style is acceptable, I think. Need the other shift though. There it is. Didn't realise Boneyard was in group by April 2021 though. What? Yeah, GMK lead times have extended quite a lot recently, so that sounds about right. USG ISO. Tomato, tomato, depleted Vespine. We can talk about, you know, the exact variation of ISO, or we can just say it's fine, and it's fine. It's not a terrible version. I could move house quicker than GMK produces that. GMK are doing a lot of things at the minute. They're moving campus, so they've got a new building and they're moving into it. That's slowing them down a little bit. I don't even know if construction's finished on it or not yet. I think it's still underway. They've also got, you know, a ton of group by key sets to deliver. They've also got the standard stuff that they do. I just realised I put the wrong key there. Whoops. You know, they do a lot of industry style stuff as well, so that's where the main part of their business comes from. It's not from custom keycap sets. So you have to remember that they've still got all of that ongoing whilst they're doing all of our custom work for us as well. Hey, I do have 9s right here. Okay, fair enough, man. Fair enough. 9s is not a bad set. It's not a bad set at all. A much larger proportion of their business must come from custom sets nowadays. It's about a third, just under a third. It's about a quarter, between a quarter and a third of their business comes from custom keycap sets right now. From what Living Speed Bump Andy, who works for GMK, has told us. Is that the right profile? Yes. And what code are we? We're just going to put the code key here, I think. There we go. Okay. Let's move this to one side. Okay, guys, this is GMK 9s on the Iron 165 Fe. How good does that look, guys? Look at that peak of copper at the back. Carbon fiber plate in there. It looks decked out to the 9s, nice. I thought you'd throw the tray away too. No. There we go, guys. Okay, I think it's time to see what this sounds like. So, I apologise in advance for my typing. I'm not the best typist. I'm a terrible typist. But let's pause the music. Let me take off my headphones as well, and then I can hear what the board sounds like. And we'll see how it goes. Let's see what it sounds like. In fact, I've got the fan on in the background. Let's try and get rid of as much noise as possible. Let's just turn the fan off. Yeah, I've turned the aircon off. The only other noise now you've got is my PC fan, which I can't turn off, and it is really warm in here. There was music on really quietly, that's why I had this the headset on. But it was on really quiet. If you guys couldn't hear it, I'll turn it up after, because you guys should have been able to hear it. Just turn the PC off. Okay, good idea. Right, let's see what this sounds like. Good start. We'll need to tweak that stabilizer. Let's just tweak this stabilizer before we do anything else. Come on. Come on. This does not want to come off. Let's get the wire in then, don't know. Gosh, that was tight. Wow. Okay, so this is why I said it's always easier to add more lube later on to your stabilizers. Okay. Much rather add lube like this than over lube it to start with. So there we go. Okay, let's see how that sounds. If that still sounds bad, we may have to fix it off stream. Still getting a little bit of rattling there. We'll fix that after. We'll fix that after. Yeah. Yeah, you can overloop stabs. Yeah, you get to the point where they don't return with dielectric grease. Those sound great. Those sound good. Okay, let's see what we've got. Oops. Okay, so first thing that I will say is it sounds quite crisp, but there is a significant noise on bottom out. That's partially the H1 switches, and it's partially a resonance coming from the copper. Now I like that, but I don't like the spacebar. The spacebar definitely needs some work. The switches sound like what I expected them to sound like, given the fact that it's a solid copper base. It reminds me of the older style kind of IBM boards and things like that. So let's get the music back on. If you guys can't hear the music, tell me, I'll turn it up a little bit. In fact, let's just turn it up a little bit. There you go. So I really like the sound of the keys. I'm not a fan of the spacebar. Need to fix that. Those sound great. Those sound fantastic. I do like the switches. I like the sound of the switches. I like the sound of the board. Just need to fix that spacebar. So after the stream today, I will probably add a ton more lube to those stabilizers and try and fit underneath the plate and between the PCB some foam. There is kind of a gap there, but the switches sound great. They sound really poppy, really clacky, not thocky, which is great. Yeah, sure. If you want to hear it across all of them, let's just mute the music. So how do I fix stabs after lubing? Well, I use dielectric grease, which is quite thick. And what you can do is you can actually put a blob on the end of the brush, and you can kind of lift the stabilizer up, and you can go into the back of the housing where the wire sits. So you can what you can do, and bear in mind that once you lube stabilizers, they're not done. They're going to change because they see a lot of use. So what you can do is, if you imagine that's screwed into your PCB, and it's screwed into the PCB here flush, and if you pull it out as high as you can see that you can see into that back hole just there. And what you're going to see in there normally is you're going to see your wire showing through. So what you're normally going to see is that. So can you guys see how you can see the wire in there? And what you can do to fix this, if you bear in mind that that's going to be sat in your PCB and plate, and the plate's going to be kind of where my fingers are, you can still see enough of the back there. What you can do is you can take your brush with a blob of lube on, and you can push it inside that hole. You can actually get all the way through the stabilizer. If I turn this around, you can see that I'm actually going through all the way through the stabilizer, and I've actually got parts of the brush coming out at the front. So you can actually add more lube in there. So there we go. Yeah, all the FEs are shipped with foam for a reason. I'm going to use the foam with the... I only got one set of foam. So I did talk about this at the beginning of the stream. I'm really happy with the board though. So I'm going to use the foam with this particular plate. So when I build with the copper plate, the spare PCB, I'm going to use the foam underneath the plate at that point. So I will use this as the second build for the board when, and I'll do that in a couple of weeks time. I'm not exactly sure when. It'll be on stream, maybe back end of this month, something like that. But there is going to be a second build where I do have foam between the PCB and the plate. So yes. Could you try with case foam? I don't have any case foam. It didn't come with any foam for the case. So there we go. Copper bottom is the reason why the board sounds the way it does. You've got to remember that this isn't aluminium. Any part of this isn't aluminium. This is stainless steel on the top case, and the base of it is solid copper. So it's going to have more resonance and ping than any of the boards. Stainless steel is very, it's got a very kind of, it transmits vibration quite a lot. And because of that, that's what sound is. Sound is vibration. So this is going to pick up a lot of sound vibration, and the copper base is going to do the same as well. Aluminium kind of absorbs it a little bit better. So the aluminium versions of this board are going to sound very different. You could build them with the carbon fiber plate, the same switches lubed to the same spec, and GMK keycaps, and the aluminium one will sound different to the FE. I'd be very surprised if you could fit anything other than a piece of paper underneath the PCB and plate. But it does sound really even. Like on the same row. That Fe8 analysis is working well. The keys sound the same. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, you're not going to fit any foam underneath the plate and PCB assembly in this. You're going to have to put it between the plate and PCB, which is exactly what that second build I'm going to do for this is. So we'll have the plate, we'll have the foam, we'll have the PCB, and then the switches will go through all three. That's what we'll do on the second build for this. I don't know what switches we're going to use. We're probably going to move to inks for that build because I do have enough inks for it. So we'll see how that goes when we get closer to it. What about gasket rubber, 1.5mm or something? You wouldn't fit that underneath the plate and PCB. There isn't 1.5mm under there. You could probably put a sheet of cardboard under there, thick card, like modelling card, maybe a couple of sheets of paper, nothing more than that. You're not going to be able to get like a rubber gasket underneath there. It was already difficult enough to screw the case together with the compression that's needed for the gaskets that are in place around the board. But the feel is really good. The feel is really even. The sound is very even across the whole alpha cluster. So the Fe8 analysis is working really, really well. You just have to remember that this isn't an aluminium board. It's stainless steel and copper, so it's going to sound loud. It's going to sound echoey. It's the materials that put it that way. No, we're not doing the J score anymore, Zapri. We're going to actually change the J scores, and we're just going to do them as a community scores going forward. We're not going to do it this week because I'm going to change the format slightly. I don't think it's fair for me to do J scores anymore given my position in the community right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this to community-driven scores, and I will just get your guys' thoughts on the score, but we're going to tweak the scoring system. So I need to work out how that's going to work and what we're going to do for it, but I'm back in a couple of builds. Cheese grate some neoprene and stuff it down there. Yeah, that could work. You mean if you got it thin enough, you could fit it in there, but you can't buy neoprene in less than 1mm thicknesses, I don't think. And you probably don't have a millimeter in there to play with. It's probably about 0.6 of a millimeter, something like that. I kind of like the poppy sound of the switches, though. I do. I just need to fix the spacebar. And I think what that's going to need is just going to need some foam under the inside. I don't think it's lube that's causing the issue. I think the lube is fine on them. I think it's actually just the sound of the stabs bottoming out into the PCB. We'll see. We'll see. H1 sound very similar to Tangerines. That's because they're the same manufacturer. So yes, they will sound very similar to them. They're almost identical switches, just the weight's different. But the switches feel great. The switches feel great. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really glad that we've got this here. I'm really glad that we've built it. Quick comparison to the J01 for you guys. That's that. Here's the J01. There we go. CoinSwap says, is there a Google Doc with all or most UK vendors listed? Easiest way to find a UK vendor is to go to the UK Discord server, and if you go there, if you need a link to it, I can send you one after the stream. Most of the vendors have got a vendor tag, so there's quite a few. There's Mechboards, there's Mechbox, there's Caps Unlocked, there's Vatten Cables, there's Cutie Club who do PCBs. I'm missing loads. There's Elliot who does PCBs. There's absolutely, there's a ton of vendors in the UK right now. It's a really strong community. I'm missing loads more. Who else am I missing? Where's the UK server? Yep, there's Optic Boards as well. There's Pexon for cables. There's Keyboard Company. Yeah, there's quite a few. Yankar Designs for PCBs as well. So there. Have a look on the right hand side. Not all of the ones on the right hand side are UK vendors, but there are quite a few of them that are UK vendors. And of course there's Prototype as well, my stuff. There we go. Cool. Okay, guys. I think we've still got a huge number of viewers, so I think the next thing to do is to change the keycap set and see what Olive looks like on there. Anyone down to see that? You still want to see Olive, guys? Do you want to see Olive before I close the stream? Yeah, yeah. Olive. Okay. I imagine that the viewership is going to drop drastically now because everyone else voted for this. So let's take this off. I'll put them back in the tray later. Let's just pop it in my tray here for now. Then let's satisfy Pusher's need to see Olive. No, well, depleted Vespine, I shall see you next week then, dude. If you don't want to see it. Check him over your shoulder. Nah. I was scared of hitting something actually. When I launched them over my shoulder, I was like, what did that hit? And I think they just landed on the floor, but oh my goodness. What's gone on? What's wrong? Only 2 people left. Yeah. 220 viewers down to 2, probably. That sounds about right. Okay. I'll put all of these keycaps back in their tray later on. Olive might stay on here. If Olive looks good, it might stay on. How do I do clip here? I don't know. I think you have to go back into the main part of the show, the main page, twitch.tv/topclack, and you can do it from there. The rhythmic keycap pulling is nice to hear. Glad you like it. I don't even need to hold the board down because there's no way that any of these are going to be on that tight that it lifts the board up. Normally you have to hold the board down, but not with this. Okay. Well, we've still got 219 views. We didn't actually drop any. I thought people were going to disappear. I thought people were going to go. What's the difference between the plastic end and the wire end? The wire end is technically better for keycaps because the plastic end can scratch them. I've had no issues ever doing that, so I'm not too worried about it. But the wire end definitely helps for longer keys and wider keys that you need to get around. So you'll see when we get to the ISO enter and the spacebar, the wire just works a little bit better. Man of carbon fibre with H-Dung looks great. Why are we putting caps on this build? It does look good, right? It does look good. Carbon fibre looks amazing. Yeah, I think Crash meant only 2 viewers left the room, not 2 people left watching. Oh, right, okay. Oh, I thought you meant there'd only be 2 people left watching. Right, okay. I've got you. I'm still surprised that there's so many of you here today. It's nice, though. It's nice. I wonder if we'll get this many people when we do the Lodestone prototype build and the JO1 revision prototype build, because those are 2 streams coming up. So I wonder if they'll generate a similar number of views. Because I'm really, really excited to show you guys both of those boards. There's some really cool stuff going on there. Okay, so I'm just going to try and pull this side up first. There we go. And pull the other side up. Oh man, that's tight. There we go. Okay, olive. GMK olive. Let's do it the other way around. I think you should do polycarb lodestone to see the maglev. The issue with doing plastics for lodestone is that you have a slight issue with the strength of the magnets. So you don't want to buckle the polycarb or whatever plastic you use for it. You need to be really careful on that front. So there's a reason why we haven't planned to do it as yet. Okay guys, this has never actually been on a keyboard. I think I've opened it to take a look at it, never been on a keyboard. So you guys get to vote again. Do you want to see any accents? And if so, which ones do you want to see? Yeah, pick which accents you guys want to see on the board. Let me zoom the camera back out and we'll zoom it back in for the close-ups afterwards. There we go. Olive is really, really nice. As I say, I've never actually put this on a board. Accents, yes, accents. You guys want accents this time, right? Okay, so you're saying ISO enter accent. Okay. What are the accents? Do you want to put the olive for the escape? Should we put the olive on the escape? Use a novelty. I very rarely use novelty. It feels weird, man. What's wrong, Huey? How can I make you feel better? This doesn't have a UK kit, does it? No. So what version of ISO does this do? Oh man, this does the worst version of ISO. Okay, we can cope. We can deal. Enter and escape. Okay, enter and escape. I'm going to use the olive novelty for the escape then. Let's just use this this. There we go. That is a really nice green though. I do like green sets. I do have a thing for the colour green. And we're going to need that key as well. Man. Wasn't Zambu healthy with the kit design? I'm not sure actually. I know it's Olivia's set, but yeah. Olivia knows how I feel about ISO. The police have been trying to protect me. Hey, as long as the rest of the key set looks fine, I'll cope. I'll cope. I just don't like having the same key twice on the board, that's all. I do like these alphas though. The alphas are such a good colour. Green is the best colour ever. Yeah, the right green is the best colour green ever. Yeah, it has to be the right green. I think you might be right, Pusher, though. This looks like it might be better. Oh no! We have the dreaded twisted issue. So guys, if you didn't know, if you look at the QWERTY keys there, can you see that they're slightly twisted? Do you see that? This is an issue with it's a known issue with this particular keycap set, but these are twisted. Rip crooked keys. Yeah. Oh well. Oh well. Crooked keys for crooked compat, I guess. It'll be fine. It's still going to look good, guys. It's only a slight twist. It's fine. It's not the switches, because the last key set looked fine. It's definitely the keycaps. There's some good greens, but there's also a lot of bad greens. Green is difficult to do right. Yeah. Green is difficult to do right. Launch over shoulder. Launch the board over my shoulder and kill the rest of the house. Yeah. It's a shame because I really do like this set, and I would absolutely love for this to have a little bit more compatibility to it. Looks like E-white goes with a lot of colours pretty well too. Yeah, E-white goes with a lot of stuff, yeah. It's actually a really bright white, so it doesn't go with things like minimal, or it doesn't go well with Honeywell actually, so it's probably a good job we didn't use Honeywell. So I find that minimal is a bit too warm compared to the cool colour of this, whereas this is so warm that it actually works again, it actually comes back around to working. So yeah. Botanical, so good. Yes, I cannot wait for Botanical to come in. That is going to be one of my favourite cap sets of all time, I suspect. Now, that is the right one. Yeah, I'm just making sure I've got these two keycaps in the right positions. I have. Thoughts on Grain? I absolutely love Grain. I really can't wait for it. I only proxy key sets for the EU and the UK that I like. I say no to a lot, and I say yes to some. And I said yes to Grain because I really like it. Somewhat struggling something to find going on the Grey JO2. First non-black board. So loads of things go well with that grey. Mizu looks good with it if you like Mizu. It depends on what colours you want. Yeah. Are you going to have any grey and extras? Yes, there will be some grey and extras. Not a huge number, but there will be some grey and extras. And they will be live about 2 weeks after the group buy ships. Maybe a little bit sooner if people demand it, but about 2 weeks is kind of where I estimate it to be. Arrow keys. I just missed out on the Latralium Botanical thing, got the rest of it though, so yay. I didn't get the Latralium Botanical ones, but I'm hoping I get the Midnight Rainbow ones. I'm absolutely praying that I get Midnight Rainbow ones because they look dope as hell. Mika has done a great job with those. So I'm really, really excited about that. I'll be on you like Crytox loop stabs. Nice, nice. Well, yeah, so if you watch on the Friday updates, I'll announce it the week before it's going to go live, or I'll announce it on the Friday update on the site when it's going to go live. I'll do that for all extras, and I'll try and give people plenty of notice. Step caps. OG double shots. OG double shots go with everything, but getting the compatibility for 65% is tough. Swiss says what extras? Extras for Grain. They'll be on my store after Grain ships. I'll have extras for Bleached, Islander. You know, most of the sets that we run we'll have extras for. Yeah, it still doesn't sound great. I definitely need to put some foam into there. Okay, so Pusher, you win today. There's no prize for winning today, but you do win today because you were right that this key set would look absolutely spot on. It does look fantastic. I'm a real big fan of this. Let's zoom in a little bit. That looks absolutely stunning. That key set goes so well with this board. So well. That's unbelievably good. Pusher, I owe you a prize or a drink or something. Next, when I see you, dude, you're getting a drink from me because that looks really good. It looks way better than nines. Who said nines? Whoever said nines, you guys were wrong. This looks really good. The white is just cool enough to offset the warmth of the copper and the warmth of the green. The green with the copper looks dope as hell. It really, really looks good. If it were antique, would be better. Sure, sure. The only issue I've got is that this key and this key are the same legend. I wish this key was different, or I wish this key was different. It doesn't really matter. Or I wish it had UK ISO, whatever. Other than that, dudes, the really big fan of this key set on this board. That looks great. That looks great. Yeah, really happy for that. Is there a name for the version of ISO where the backspace isn't small and you don't have the extra key from the left of the Z? So the backspace is the same size as ever. That's the same size as backspace as you have on ANSI. That doesn't change. Basically all that changes between ANSI and ISO is you have two keys that take up the same spot. And they're just different ways. And left shift's a little bit different, but all you have to change ANSI is you take the stabilizer from this and you rotate it down, and then you just put a 1.5U cap in there. That's literally it. That's the difference between ISO and ANSI on this side. Now the other side on left shift is you basically just got a shift that's split, so you use one less stabilizer. So that's it. That you get rid of the stabilizer and you put an extra switch in, and this is just a different orientation of the same cap. So ISO technically has one more key. Backspace remains the same on both layers unless you split it. That's the only difference. So yeah, so you can do that, which tends to be called US ISO, which means that you have a full left shift and an ISO enter key, and you have the kind of controls there. That tends to be a doable. But yeah. Yeah, US ISO is kind of like the genericized term for it. I know depleted vest beam will have a fit if we call it that, but yeah, I mean, lots of people use it. A lot of people tend to use ANSI with split left shift actually. So you tend to find that a lot of people like this. A lot of people that move from ISO to ANSI tend to like this as a layout, and they have split left shift, but they also have ANSI enter and the backspace there, and they split the backspace. So. But hey, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. As long as you like the layout that you're using, it doesn't matter. As long as you're comfortable with it, it's all good. That's all that needs to happen. You just guys need to be comfortable with what you're using and happy with what you're using. And as long as that happens, then it's good. That's interesting because the split left shift is my least favorite part. I like the split left shift more than I like the ISO enter. When I'm typing on ANSI, I tend to hit ISO enter up here when I'm hitting it. So I tend to hit backspace because I tend to have that as backspace on ANSI layouts. So I tend to hit backspace a lot. But I always use this side of shift. So I'm always here for shift. That I'm always resting on the edge of the board for shift. So yeah. Split left shift is great for gaming as well. It gives you an extra key so you can shift and you can have an extra function down here in this area. So it's technically better for gaming if you like to keep your key clusters shorter, but I don't like to talk about technicalities. That's ISANSI. It's US ISO, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's 1,001 different names. It matters for the cost of sets, but outside of that, who cares? Well, it doesn't really. To add ISO compatibility to sets costs about €4. That's what it costs when you go to GMK. It costs about €4. It's dependent on sets and how many keys you put in. It can be slightly more or slightly less. It's about €4. For this one, it should be about €3.5, something like that for the compatibility we've got here. If you split that out and you do ISO as a separate kit, it instantly becomes €30. So it costs 10 times as much for the same keys. It's kind of a bit of a weird position, but I can see why people who don't use them don't want them. I don't use the ANSI keys, but I always have to buy them. So I have 1,000 ANSI keys that I don't use. You know, simple as that. Fortnite players everywhere just switch to split left shift. They should. They should. Split left shift gives you a slight advantage in gaming, if you can learn to use it. It's a nice looking keyboard, says Jeff Lefford. Absolutely. Terminal keys, great for coding too. Yep, absolutely. Yep. Numpad in base, I wish. I think my view on it, okay, my view is unless you are intending to sell 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 sets, there is no point taking numpad or ISO compatibility out of base. It doesn't have to be full ISO compatibility. It just has to be basic ISO support. Kind of like this set, but don't do two legends the same. Make sure they're different. There's a couple of different ways you can cut that cake. But yeah, there's no reason to take out the numpad or the ISO keys, unless you're going to sell 1,000 units, and you know you're going to sell 1,000 units. Modo R2, I can kind of understand it. Bleached, we were kind of on the fence before it ran us whether we kept them in or not. It was probably the right decision to remove them for that particular set. Every other set that I've been a part of, I think it's been right to keep the keys in the base kit. It's just not worth it to charge the people who want the other keys significantly more for a key set when you can have everything for, like, you know, I mean, it's like Midnight Rainbow has UK ISO, numpad, and all of the different colours in there, and it's £114 on my website. You know, that's great compatibility for that price. If you go back to I think $125 GMK Calm Depths, $125 GMK Calm Depths, and UK ISO, numpad, and a ton of compatibility in there. It's doable. It's doable. Upas has got some great prices on his sets. $130 I think it was for what was the last set I bought from Upas? Well, I didn't buy it from Upas, but I'm trying to think of which sets were on Upas's store that I bought from my keyboard.eu. I can't remember. Anyway, but Upas had loads for $130. Deep Navy, that's the one. Yes, last one, $125. There you go, perfect. It has basic ISO support, and it has numpad, and it's $125. Yeah, Tower R2, $110 for that huge range. That was priced at over 1,000 units, I think, though, was Tower R2. So, yeah. There isn't as much profit as you would think, Chris, per set. There isn't huge numbers in there. It's not. Like, I'm not going to talk about numbers, but it's not as big as what people expect it to be. Boneyard has basic support, and it's 120 on novel keys. There you go, right? Yeah, full UK ISO and everything else, and priced at 250 MOQ instead of at 1,000 MOQ, and Midnight Rainbow is only $10 more. So there you go. That's how close you can take it. Cool. Okay, so I feel like I've kind of ranted a little bit there. Make an NC macro pad, says Swisher KB. Yeah, I should do. I do have keyboards that don't allow me to use ISO layout. So for example, I'm using one in my workshop at the minute. I'm using the Ellison that only has ANSI layout, so I am using that there. I do have keyboards that I use the key sets on with that ANSI. It isn't a huge thing. I don't really care. You know, people can use whatever they want. I'm completely ambivalent when it comes to what layout people choose. Just because I prefer one thing doesn't mean anything. You know. It's fine. It's fine. Any plans to stock 3204 on prototypers? No, but I am going to have a huge amount of 205 coming in the next couple of weeks. It's on its way to me right now, so that's going to be on the store as soon as I can bottle it up. I'm hoping to get someone else to do the bottling up. But yeah, there's going to be a huge amount of 205 on the store soon. Look at Modo R2, $99 for that useless base kit. Don't tell me they don't expect to sell 1,000 base kits. No, they do. They absolutely expect to sell multiples of thousands of base kits. I expect on that base kit they expect to sell 2,000-3,000, and that's why they've stripped all of the other keys out, because it then makes sense for the other keys to have sets. It also makes sense to put a Nordic kit in at that point, because it has a chance of making MOQ. If I ran a Nordic kit for Midnight Rainbow, it wouldn't make it. It just wouldn't make it. So yeah. Yeah, I wish that was the case. Ifo Hon Croft. I'm just going to call you Croft because it's easier. So to tell you a true story, this is before I was joining Top Clack and before I was streaming, but I had a keyboard that I built, and I built it ISO. I then desoldered it, took all of the keys off it, and this was a board at the time that was selling for quite a significant price. I'll tell you what it was. It was a TGR. It was a 910. Okay, I sold that TGR 910. And with hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done. And the first guy that came up to me, he wanted me to knock $300 off the price that I'd got it listed for, and I'd only got it listed at like $100 over retail price. It wasn't much at all, because I'd soldered it in ISO, and he viewed that the board had been ISO, even though it was now completely desoldered. He viewed that as something that would detract from the value of the board. So there you go. So some people do take it very seriously, and they do not like ISO. He legitimately wanted me to take $300 off the price because I built it in ISO and desoldered the board. Suffice it to say, he didn't get the board in the end. Someone else did, but there we go. This will be some weird attempt to get a discount, otherwise he was insane. I stopped talking to him at the time when he did it. He's still in the hobby, I still see him. We actually did speak later on, and we did a trade for something else, and that was fine. I think he was relatively new when he had that opinion, so yeah. ISOcism. Yeah, maybe. To be honest, all of this kind of stuff, it shouldn't matter. Like, use whatever you feel comfortable with. Like, I don't care. The best layout for me is the best layout for me. The best layout for you is the best layout for you. Use what makes you feel good. That's what you should do. If it has ISO, how can I afford a second 910? Absolutely. I don't use ISO, but I slip want to. I don't know what you mean, Swishy, but there we go. Cool. Okay, guys, I think we're pretty much done for the stream. Push it, you were absolutely right. This key set does look better. It works really, really well. I'm really, really happy with the board and its looks. I do need to fix the spacebar. I'll try and see if I can work out off stream what's happening with that. I think it's literally just the way that the stabilizer hitting the plate, hitting the PCB, and also just the material the board's made from. But I'm absolutely in love with this board. This is probably going to make it onto my desk for use for the next couple of weeks. It'll definitely be a home board, not a workshop board, because it's too heavy. But yeah, it is time to close on the stream. It's 10:30 here, so I'm going to go watch a couple of episodes of TV with the wife and chill out before I go to work tomorrow. But thank you guys very, very much for being here. We've stuck over 200 viewers for most of the stream, which is great. Thank you very much, guys, for being here. If you guys want to reach out, you can hit me up on Discord. You can do the thing below. You can speak to me there. You can reach out to me on Prototypers. You can email me, whatever. Reach out as much as you can. I guess one thing I do want to check, guys, is there anyone else streaming that we can go raid? Give me someone to raid. Tell me who we should raid. I'm looking now, but I can't actually see anyone online. Certainly not that the top clack follows. So if you can see anyone online that I should go raid, let me know and I will go raid them. Currently doing API design. Nice, that sounds fun. APIs are always fun. Hopefully it's to open up something interesting. Okay, I can't see anyone online. I would do a raid, try and pay forward who's there, but I can't see anyone that's live that I know that does keyboard streams. I'm looking through. I can't see anything. No. Okay. There's. I don't know. Oxdate. Does he do? Oh, building a keyboard. Okay, someone's there. Okay. Let me work out how to do this. I need to raid that channel. Oh, I can't use that keyboard, it's not plugged in. He is building a keyboard. Yeah, let's go give this guy a really, really good yeah, he's got 10 viewers, guys. There's 190 of you. Let's go give this guy the day of a surprise, okay? I'm gonna raid Spacey, and you guys have to tell him it's from Top Clack, and that we love his content and that we want him to stream more. Okay, that's what you need to go tell him. Tell him that we love his content and we want him to stream more. Let's go ahead and raid this guy, guys. Okay, it's gonna raid in about 8 seconds. So let's see his reaction. Let's make his day. Let's make him really, really, really happy. And yeah, sorry, I'd like to keep it more keyboard content, Crofty. But yeah, let's go raid this guy, and I'll see you guys later. Take care, guys. See ya.
Are you crazy with that raid, man? That scared the hell out of me. How you guys doing, man? How you guys doing? It's good seeing you guys. Welcome to the stream. Top Clack, man. Wow. I was literally just talking about like streams that I like to watch, and we're talking about keycaps and things like that, and really premium boards and stuff like this. Dude, that's super kind of you, man. Man, look at all these. Yeah, you guys are crazy right now. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? I appreciate every single one of these follows, man. Seriously, it's good seeing you guys. Thank you. If you guys want to know what I'm building, so believe it or not, this is the first This is the first time I've ever